Hi, Credulous.
Welcome to my
Oh,
world.
I hear that. Zach, I need to thank you for your resub. I need to thank you for your resub. That happened offline. How are we? Mixer is having issues. Warning you guys right now. Mixer is having issues. We were forewarned this morning, right? How does it sound right now? How does everything sound? Deep voice this morning. Our bots are working. Um, Mixer is having issues with, um, they're having issues with clips, VODs, stuttering, and freezing. So if you're having any of that issue, I am live over on YouTube. That is where I'm hosting this show today, um, just because it's stable. Good morning, Book. Good morning. I was streaming Biohazard for two of my friends when Hypebot showed up with a couple of new people. I immediately thought, what does Raw always say to do? So I tried to make sure I keep talking, keep engaged. How is the mic sounding? Are you guys able to hear me? It's not dropping off. Mixer is having major lag issues. I'm thinking I might just end Mixer. How are we doing this morning? How does it sound? Okay, so maybe I'm just gonna end Mixer. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna end Mixer. Just give me a second here. Thank you for all those hosts. It sounds good. I sound better. Good morning, Metro.
The show goes
We just ended over on Mixer's side. We just ended over on Mixer's side. We may have to restart. So let me know how Twitch is doing. Yeah, I would turn up your mic level. Okay, how do I do that? How do I turn up my mic level? Where do I do that? Twitch is good? Okay, so I'm also on YouTube. So, and well, here we go. I believe that would be the link. Mic fader. Mic fader. How's that? Slide it up a bit. I just slid it up. I just slid it up just a couple. We do have our bot working over on Twitch. Let's pop out chat. Never mind. And we're still trying to get used to this mic. I am not quite used to it. Yeah, you can watch 1080 on Twitch. That's what's nice about Twitch. You can watch it 1080 with no problems. We shouldn't have any issues. Just because it's Twitch. It's just it's stable. It's stable. That's really all I can say. But we're still working out the kinks in my mic as well. Because this is the first time I'm actually using said mic. Thank you for the hosts. My Streamlabs is kind of down, so I don't know why. So does that sound better? Is that better, Metro? I don't want to be yelling into the mic. Kinky mic? What does that mean? Is that a bad thing? Oh fuck. I am like just about top. Thank you, Book. Thank you. Good morning, Diva. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Bear with me while I work on my mic. I figured I'd start a little early. Yeah, working out the kinks. I'm about to say kinky mic. What?
This is where it gets kinky.
My gait. my gate. Hi, sick girl. My gate. That was all sorts of fucking weird right there. I'm actually hearing myself. I'm actually hearing myself, so don't mind me. My gate is at 56.
Oh yeah, Dillinger. We got this demon voice.
Yeah. Good morning, sick girl. There's an echo. Where is the echo? Okay, so turn it down to 45. So then you'll hear everything. So I think this is where a condenser mic would come in handy. How about now? Is that any better? Good morning, Jacob. How are you? Yeah, let me just test this out. How's that? How's that for echo? Oh, I'm glad you guys are doing good this morning. Okay, so you have no echo. I know there was an echo. I know where it was coming from. I fixed that. So how does the mic sound now? I don't want to go into the whole coffee chat of horrors if the mic is not sounding well. I gotta type over to the mixer side of things, letting them know. Sorry, you're gonna hear my tip tapping because my gate is lower. I sound good. Hello, Moon Smurf. Thank you guys for all the hosts. Audio sounds good over on YouTube. Perfect. That they suck? Yes, basically. I'm letting everybody know that we're over on the Twitch side of things, and if need be, because not everybody likes Twitch, so okay, so there we go. We got that up there. Oh my God! Now you're liking the new karaoke. Karaoke. I'm doing pretty good with it. I'm still learning it. Like I'm still trying to tweak it. So it's gonna take a little bit, as well as trying to figure out. I have a condenser mic. So what is it? A condenser mic picks up all the noise. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out a noise gate for that. And thank you guys for all the hosts. I can't tell what's being hosted, so I don't know what's going on with my bot. So I will say thank you for all the hosts. The Vincent Pratt, yes, right? Hello, Sneaky Tiger. How are you? Set your gate back to 50 or 55. Okay. This is something we didn't get to do over the weekend. We just set this up on, so it's at 54. We just set this up on Saturday afternoon with Metro. And so we haven't had a chance to set it up. Ms. Blue, how are you doing? Hi, Spore. Oh, the clocks went back for you. Oh, yes. Good morning, Jonathan. How are you? How are you doing? Good morning, guys. I watched your thank you video, Ra. You're awesome. Hey, the hosts are showing up on the screen. Okay, cool. I don't usually listen to the screen or watch the screen. Usually my bot tells me, and for some reason, I don't know what it is. The bot's not working correctly. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of settings in this Go XLR. Lurk away, Regal. Yeah, I was about to ask you if you're starting early, then I realized I'm starting early. Yeah, no, our clocks don't go back yet until November sometime. I'm assuming the states are the same way. Metro does kick ass. I set this up and then
I contacted Metro and I'm like, okay, I need some help with the rest of this shit because I have no idea what I'm doing.
so we did that. And we didn't get a chance to test it. Thank you, Chico, for opening up the door. Doing amazing. My daughter stole my Kindle and bed, so I'm laying here in bed chilling with some coffee. It's just cold and frosty morning. Ooh, it's cold here as well. Hi SSJ. How are you? Do you guys know on YouTube side of things? On the YouTube side of things, you are able to change it to your username, whatever gamer tag you want. It's under your settings. The echo is back. So the echo is back when we guarantee you the echo is back. All right, let's see what that is. Is that an echo? I'm noticing the echo. I'm noticing the echo. I'm noticing the echo is only when we have Vincent Price on, right? So we are going to do that and see if that works. We'll see. I think gain may have to go down a little. Gain in the mic setup, right where it says gate, right? No echo there? You guys don't hear an echo at all on YouTube. They don't hear an echo at all on YouTube. YouTube makes sure to change to all, not top chat, so you don't get confused when it comes to answering first during trivia. Okay. Where is that at? Where is that at? Gain. But where is it on here? Like blue, let me show you what this looks like. Let me show you what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, mic setup. How's that? Furlong, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, go to systems. Don't fuck it with this. Okay. Okay, this is where we set up the mic. All right, go to system. Good morning. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys are not having a mic setup. Mic setup. This is the same thing. This was the same thing I was on before. And then how is that? But then it brings it down really low. This is a pop out. You don't see it? Oh, you don't see it. You don't see the pop out. This is the same thing I had earlier when I was under mic setup. I was under mic. I hit the mic setup. And I don't think it's showing you guys. Yeah, I don't think it's showing it. I'm going to see if I can get it to show it. Just give me a second. I can't get it to, it won't show it to you. What do you want?
Where's my controller?
On the couch.
Okay.
I can't show it to you. It won't let me. Yeah, right now it's on condenser and it's at 28 dB. Yeah, it's on 28 dB. Okay, that's 40. Yeah, for science. Sure. Okay, that's better. Can you guys hear that? $50? Okay, how's that? I'm really loud in my ear. Yeah. Bring it back down to 40? Yes, sick girl. Hey, Metalhead, how are you? Hi, Devin. Okay, good, good. I'm just, yeah, that's fine. Not everyone uses Twitch. That's why we're over on YouTube as well. 45, okay. We're just tweaking my mic. Should I turn down my mic slider? Because that's up. Yeah. We can cut background noise with the gate. Looks great. Sounds good. Perfect. Perfect. We just set up a Go XLR yesterday, so we're really getting to test it now before we go into our actual web show part of things. So now your mic slider is how loud it goes to your stream. Okay, and is that good? Hello, Lagather. How are you doing this morning? It's perfect on YouTube? Yeah. So it's going to be a little different on different platforms. So that's good. How do I lower it in my ears, Metro? It's super loud in my ear. I get to order a new controller. Nice. How are you doing, Furlong? Okay, go to mixer. Okay. But it's good on Twitch as well? That's good. I'm glad. Yes, you saw some Chucky's. Nice karaoke. And then go to headphones. Here, right? This is where the headphone thing is. And how's that? That's a little bit. Turn it down to 80, 85. Yeah, I think that's good. At least my voice isn't so loud in my head, because that's what I'm talking about. My voice is like super friggin' loud in my head. But everything is now good, right? It's all good. It sounds good. You can hear me. My mic isn't fading out. I don't like things loud in my head, because then I talk louder than what I really need to, because then I can't hear myself properly. Yes. It looks great on YouTube. No, I'm not. No, Devin. With XSplit, you can use more than one output. Restream is when you use like OBS, or if you don't know how to do more than one output, because OBS doesn't have that ability. XSplit, you can do on NVEDIC, you can do two outputs at the same time. OBS, you cannot do that with. You have to download external stuff for OBS. That's why a lot of people who use OBS use Restream. Or if they're streaming more than 2 sites, right? If they're streaming to like 10 different sites, then you're going to want to use Restream, because XSplit will not be able to handle that. Neither will your GPU and CPU. What is your mic level on XSplit by chance? My mic level is, let me go look at my settings. I think my mic level is at 100%. Volume range is at 100% right now, but I'm only using like one little line on XSplit. Yeah. It's only the first 2 little lines you use XSplit, so you know the first 2 little lines, those are lighting up red when I talk. Other than that, yeah. So, and on YouTube side of things, I know many people sign up with their Google email, which gives out their real name. You can change that in your settings. You can change it to whatever you want in your settings. You would go down into settings and then branding, and in there you'd be able to change it. That's how I changed mine to reanimate her, or different things like that. Yeah, that line is misleading. You sound great though. Okay, so Brio, yep, yes I am. How bad are you on? You're on mobile. Go to YouTube. If you're on mobile, Twitch has a delay, 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. If you're on the website, there's no delay. And if you're on YouTube, there isn't any either. I'm surprised Twitch hasn't done anything since it generally disallows. Yeah, well, I actually asked them to get off of their affiliate. So I have an email into them. I don't want to be stuck to Twitch. Do you know what I mean? Batty Page, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch. But yeah, I have an email in. I don't want to be stuck to Twitch. That's the downside of Twitch, guys. If you become a Twitch partner or affiliate, you cannot stream anywhere else. I think that's kind of shitty. So I'm actually trying to get mine taken off. I can hear myself. All right, so we don't need the Go XLR up anymore? Thank you, Batty. Thank you. Yeah. Now, when I think Spore, the reason why is that I already have my email in. So I just don't want to be stuck to Twitch. I don't feel that Twitch is that beneficial for me to be exclusive. I mean, if it was, great, but I don't think it is. Hey, Zombie, how are you? Thank you. Thank you for the host. I appreciate it. You're making pancakes. Delicious. Just blown away about how amazing she sounds. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad I sound better. But until then, it'll still be there. They haven't taken it away. I actually asked them 6 months ago to take away my affiliateship, and they haven't, so. We have the stuff to make pancakes. Perfect. Well, this Go XLR, I mean, it's beautiful. It's what I really like is this.
I like being able to talk like this. I think it just fits me well. And I can let my inner demon out whenever I feel like it.
That's what I like about it. Peanut butter and strawberry. That's delicious. Pancakes do sound good. Sounds good. Okay, so since the mic sounds good, everything else is working well. But I am talking normal. I really want that to be a bye Felicia voice. We definitely can get that to be a hi miss. That voice right there, you guys like that? Yeah, I like it as well. I don't change my voice. I only press the button.
So I don't actually change my voice. It's just the way this thing goes. With the filter? What filter? I'm trying to get back my filters. My lens filters. Can you imagine this voice with my lens filters? Those would be great.
Yeah. I thought those were fun. Okay. We're going to get into our coffee chat of horrors. Is everything set and well over here? Let's go like this so I can see everything here. All right, so our coffee, hi Chico. Our coffee chat of horrors is classic monsters. So vampires, werewolves, witches, and mummies. This is where we're going to talk about. I got some really interesting facts that I did not realize about werewolves, and I think you guys will find some of that stuff funny. No, he means when you talk with the voice changer, you have to talk normal. It's hard to adjust to talk normal at first. Can you do a high-pitched voice? I think so. Wait, can you please say, okay, yeah.
Your suffering will be legendary even in hell. How's that? And number 5.
Would be like this. Yeah. Regal needs to make me some pancakes too. I need some friggin' pancakes. Hey, babes. You busy?
Oh, that's so funny. I can hear myself in my ear too. Sneaky Tiger is dead as well. Everybody is dead. The dark blue for the names is really hard to see. Oh, I'm not overly worried about that. I will fix that. The squirrel voice, yeah. It is very worth it. If Chico could talk, that's how, yeah, right? But it would be a little bit of a Mexican twang to it there. Because he's from Chihuahua. Chihuahua, Mexico. Okay, we are going to get into our coffee chat of horrors. I'm hoping everything is going to work. Well, yeah, Yeah, yo quiero Taco Bell. Okay, this is our first, and hopefully you guys, oh, the restream there. I don't have that chat. I don't want that chat. There we go. We're not going to have any chat down below. We're actually going to watch a YouTube video here very shortly. Hello, Zombie Guts. How are you feeling? How are you? It's people's choice to change the color? Oh, you mean over on Twitch? Yes, yes. Mayhem, yes. So booked on YouTube is Diva, and Karaoke Girl on Twitch is Book Chronicles. And you guys should have your sounds here as well. And your commands, all of your commands are over here. Explanation point morgue, not on the Twitch side, not on the YouTube side of things. I haven't figured out YouTube yet. We're working on a bot on YouTube. But if you're over on Twitch, you still got some of those commands. Okay, so I know it's confusing. Usually Diva is Diva Hot Pepper. And if we were on Mixer, it would be Diva Hot Pepper and the Book Chronicles. But since we're over on Twitch, Book Chronicles is now Karaoke Girl. And over on YouTube, Diva is using the Book Chronicles. Make sense? Yeah, it can get a little confusing. Yeah, I know. Hey, Des, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. Everything should be working out well over here. Okay, so Coffee Chat of Horrors. No space, Zombie Guts. No space. We are talking about vampires, werewolves, witches, and mummies. Our first set will be vampires. You need more coffee? Yeah, I have. We are having family breakfast, so yeah, no worries, Regal. It's all good. That's why we have the VOD over on YouTube as well as Twitch. Yes. Get him. I still can't figure out how to get the entrance name. So Moonsmurf, when you sent me, did I send you a command over on Discord? I will send you a new command over on Discord so you know how to use it. Right? Because I should have sent you one a while back when I actually set it up for you. And it would have been a code, would have been your command to play it. It won't auto play. You'd have to come in and do like explanation point. For example, Mr. Metro, it's MBM. You would do exclamation point MBM or Sneaky Tiger or Go Klepto. Exclamation point GK, right? That's what it would be, and I would have set that up with you a while back when you gave it to me. Now everyone's gonna do theirs at the same time, and it's gonna get all jumbly, but thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Horde, Quasi Daddy. Welcome. I am ready for Halloween. Are you ready for Halloween? I am. I'm excited. I just have to pick up some candy, and yes, I just have to pick up some candy. And if you and you have it, yes, I hear everything in my head, even my own voice. It's kind of crazy. Are you ready for Halloween? Okay, these are vampires. Vampires actually date back to ancient Babylonians in the year 4000 BC. That's how long vampires have been around. Everybody has been talking about vampires and doing their thing. Vampires have been around for quite some time. Thank you for the follow. I just don't see it. Why are you on mobile, Zombie Guts? Yeah, you're buying candy this week. I'm trying to figure out which movies to watch for my Halloween marathon. Well, I'm going to give you some really good movies here as we go through Coffee Chat of Horrors. I actually have my top picks for vampires, werewolves, witches, and mummies. Most of these can be found on the internet or Netflix, Amazon Prime, Shudder, and there's a website that I'm going to post in Discord with Coffee Chat of Horrors where you can watch public domain movies like The Mummy from 1932. There's going to be a few of these that are going to be super old, and you'll be able to watch them on public domain channels. It's a mix of Smurfs with the Squish, so I haven't sent. Oh, okay. Then you didn't send me anything, but I know you had a Metallica one, right? I'm still getting used to it. Yeah, it's very strange hearing myself. I'm buying candy this week as well. Hello, Prophets. How are you, darling? And all of the artwork that you see here today is from Reaper 1923. This here is Nosferatu. He is considered one of the first vampires. Before Vlad. I don't know if you guys remember who Vlad is. Hello, Gamer Sass. Good morning. Someone else has a Squish with the Squish. It's a mix of the Smurfs with the Squish. Yeah, no, I don't think she's talking about her kid. I know your spawnling is the Squish. Nosferatu is awesome. I have a beautiful drawing of Nosferatu in my bedroom. I remember watching the 1920s. It's 1921, black and white, silent Nosferatu. And technically, when Nosferatu was made, it's by a German director. When he was creating Nosferatu, he was actually talking about the way the society and the economy was in Germany at that point in time. If you ever notice, as vampire movies come out, look at the economy at when these vampire movies came out. Bram Stoker's Dracula, a lot of these have a lot to do with the economy and the way society was at that point. So a lot of vampire movies have came out in times of recession, in times of war. A lot of the monster movies that we know, like the Wolfman, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, all of this happened when there was a time of conflict. They did this so that people could take their minds off of what was happening. Back then, movies also didn't cost you $50 to go see a movie. It was like $5, if that, to go see a movie back then. Pancakes in Discord. Oh, delicious. Delicious. But Nosferatu is one of my favorite vampires. He's considered the first vampire before Vlad. Did you ever watch? Oh God, yes. I even watched the movie. They're some of the best. Well, here, for two people to go to the movie, just in tickets alone in Canada, well, by me, depending on your seats, they go from $12.50 all the way up to $25 a seat. So it's really depending on what you want as in the movie. It can cost you, 2 tickets can cost you $50. Shit, we need a vampire movie for the state of the economy of the U.S. is in now, right? Right? The name vampire comes from the Albanian damper, which means to drink with teeth. So that's kind of cool the way that looks. It's the same in yeah, Devin. A lot of the movies that you see back then, they came out in the time of where recession, war, some type of conflict was happening, and that's where these monster movies came from. I named 5 of my animals after the characters. Nice. See, I was so happy to see Willow in American Pie. When I say Willow, some people are like, who the fuck is Willow? What do you mean Willow? I know the girl from American Pie as Willow, right? Because I grew up watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sneaky Tiger, you are everywhere. You sure are. The first vampire, though, can be traced back to Greek mythology in the story of a young Italian man named Abragio. And I'm sure I'm killing his name because you know how I like to kill names. There is actual documentation on the very first vampire. Well, they thought he was the very first vampire. And it goes back to Greek mythology. Oh, pancakes are so good. And we have, hi, Scarlett. Hi, Scarlett. How are you? It's weird to see them in other roles. It definitely is, Des. It's definitely weird to see. Is Zombies having issues? Where is... Oh, try lowering the settings. I have to watch on 163.20. Yes, depending on your internet settings is what your Twitch or your YouTube or anybody's channel is going to be at. When I was young, I wanted to be a vampire. Who didn't, Porky? Who didn't want to be a vampire? I did. Right. Or you can go to YouTube as well. YouTube is pretty decent. Welcome to the Horde, Scarlet Katana is awesome. Thank you for the follow. I know I'm hungry now. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to chat. I'm making bacon and eggs pancakes for the demon seeds and their friends. Oh, make me, I want some pancakes and bacon. I have all of those ingredients in my refrigerator right meow. Right meow. Regal's making pancakes as well. Everybody's making friggin' pancakes. Buffy is still your jam? Yeah. Oh, Bela Lugosi is awesome. Yeah, Bela Lugosi has several vampire movies too. YouTube is decent too. Yes, YouTube is decent for those, especially for those who have less than good internet. Yeah, prophets. Kakashi, how are you, Kakashi? Good morning. Good morning. In today's society, we have over-sexualized vampires. Vampires are killing machines. They're not meant to be sexy, seductive, and having tons of sex with humans. That's silly vampireness. He was your favorite vampire? Nice. I had pancakes today too. Holy crap, everyone's having friggin' pancakes. Is Sunday's official pancake day? You had a cat named Bela Lugosi? Yeah. Hey, Ake, how are you doing, sweetness? How are you? So those of you that know a little bit about bats, in history or in the documentation and mythology of bats, you're having cereal. Ooh, what kind of cereal? I had a granola bar. That was my breakfast. You're eating cereal too, Jacob? Nice. Monsters, witches don't count, right? Because that Wicca stuff is a great convo storyline. Charmed, yeah, that is a good storyline. Wicca turns into a religion, is a religion, and we do have plans. I do plan on going into a little bit of that blue later on when we get to the witches section of the show. Yep, you're off now to the shadows. No worries, Regal. No worries. Oatmeal crisp and strawberries. Very good, Jacob. So vampires, mythology, we all know that they can turn into bats. But according to legend, they can turn into bats, rats, owls, moths, foxes, or wolves. Now, if you watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, you'd notice that he turned into a werewolf and then back into a bat. So Bram Stoker's Dracula actually brings a little bit of the mythology of being a vampire turning into a wolf. What's up, Sneaky Tiger? And there is a myth that the word vampire derives from the Turkish word upyur, which is upper or upyur, which means witch. There has been things stating that vampires have a curse on them, that they're from witches. Most of the North American mythology that we know is that they're not witches and that werewolves work for vampires instead of them being equal. I also read the book by Anne Rice. I thought her book was awesome. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that, Des. Your cat Spike and oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Turns into a wolf. Yeah, I do remember that. Yep. So a vampire can turn into a bat, rat, owl, moth, fox, and or wolf. And we see a little bit of that in Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's also another area, Monster Squad. And there is another one where I can't remember off the top of my head, where the vampire turns into a bunch of rats. And I can't think of the movie at the moment. Scroto, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. Tall Toast was a good book too. And related to the deceased Porphyria. Oh, that sucks, Des. I'm sorry to hear that. But are vampires and werewolves one and the same with a common interest? Well, werewolves are cursed by gypsies, or it is genetic done, where vampires are not. But vampires were considered the higher breed. But vampires actually have several fallbacks. Vampires can be killed in several different ways, and they can only come out at night, where werewolves can come out during the day and in the night, and there's only one way to kill a werewolf, where there are several ways to kill a vampire. And believe it or not, there are vampires, the one with Winona. Yes, that's Bram Stoker's Dracula, the one with Winona Ryder. Vampires are immortal, but they can die in several ways. And actually, throughout history, you can see vampire sightings and vampires being blamed in several different countries. Turkey, we all know in the Ukraine, Russia, the UK, they all have stories and tales of, and Transylvania, of course, of vampire stories, as well as werewolves. There is actually a section in the werewolf history where people would tell their children that there are werewolves when technically they were actually wolves, real wolves that were coming and eating the children, because the children are the smallest and the slowest out of the group. So when they were in settlements back in the day, wolves would come in because they're hungry, and then they would take out the weakest part, which are your children. Yes, is known as a vampire disease. Yeah. There is, I have a whole bunch of information on that, as well as a disease that people have that they look like werewolves. And one of the first cases was in Mexico. Yeah, you should be able to link. Yep. This is all artwork. This is all hand drawn or painted by somebody. I think this one here is one of my favorite pieces. It's black and white. I think this is beautiful. All of this will be in Discord as well. You will see all of this over in Discord. All of the artwork, the cosplay that we have to bring you, and all of my research will also be over there. I don't think vampires are satanic. I don't think any of this is satanic. There are several ways to become a werewolf. A werewolf can become... Yep, we'll get into that, Scroto. We will get into that onto the werewolf section. The most... What the shit was that? Oh, thank you. Thank you for those cheers. Thank you, Shore Cat. I appreciate that. I've never heard that noise before. This whole new setup that I have in my ear, I can hear everything. Everything. It's crazy. It is. It's crazy. Let's see. Where are we? Count Dracula is the most well-known of vampires, especially in the United States. Count Dracula is known as a chocolate cereal for kids. We had Count Dracula on Sesame Street. Surecat, it is the Go XLR. Yep, it's new. We just set it up yesterday and we've tweaked it a wee bit. No, it's okay. You go do whatever you need to do. No, don't apologize, Squirtle. Yeah, she is beautiful. This is a beautiful piece. In North America, most vampires are known as Count Dracula, which I thought was pretty cool, because it's actually in different areas. It's named different stuff. No, I can't hear you, Moon Smurf. I currently have a bowl of Count Chocula. See, it's delicious, right? A group of vampires are called a brood. Bella Lugosi right here. A group of vampires are called a brood. And to prevent a vampire attack, a person should make bread with the blood of a vampire and eat it. This was an actual, when I was going and researching vampires in different countries and different cultures, this came up several times in different cultures and in different years and different decades. To prevent yourself from being attacked by a vampire, you need to get their blood, dip it in bread, and eat it. These are actual real facts. This isn't something that's made up in a movie. This is actual real facts throughout several decades, and different parts of the country, different parts of the world had this same thing, is that you would get the vampire blood, you would dip it into bread and eat it, and then the vampire could not attack you. Isn't that kind of strange? If you have Amazon Prime, link your Twitch account and sub to Raw for free. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I love wolves. I am Native American. Yeah, I love wolves too. If I was to be any monster, I would be a werewolf. I love vampires, don't get me wrong, but vampires have many, many weaknesses. They are very frail compared to the rest of the monster squad. Vampires are the most fragile. They can die in several different ways. They can be injured in several different ways, and they can only come out at night. So that would be kind of shitty, right? It would be kind of shitty. Vlad, I love Vlad. I think he was awesome. I really like Vlad the Impaler. He's my favorite in history, in real history. If you don't know who Vlad is, I would tell you to do your research on Vlad the Impaler. Werewolf team, hell yeah, you gotta be. I love vampires and all. They're seductive. They can turn into bats and stuff, but you can be murdered 100 different ways. They are the weakest in the monster squad. Wouldn't that expose you to the vampire curse? Or are we missing something like that? It's just it according to legend, Scroto, in other this is what it stated. And according to legend, as long as you are alive and you're eating the vampire blood with bread, you're fine. It's when you are bit by a vampire do you get onto their curse. Yeah, yeah. I would say that their transformation on Twilight was pretty good. I haven't really watched much of Twilight. Get bitten by a vampire, receive awesome powers, and eat gross blood toast. Well, you would want to eat the blood with bread so you don't get attacked by vampires. For some reason, it's supposed to wear that off, whether their blood in your veins kind of pretends that you are a part of them or something. I don't know, but that is what I found out. Vlad the Impaler of Wallachia had a bad habit of killing the people that, crossed him or enemies. He would skin them alive and actually eat his victims and also impale them all across his yard. Like his entire kingdom, if you were an enemy, if you came to war, he would impale your body. He would skin you alive and impale you. And I'm not talking about just a head impale. He would impale your entire body as well as just heads in front of his kingdom. So that when potential war people would come, I'm going to have war with them, they would see this row, and I'm talking about fields of bodies being impaled on these sticks, these huge sticks. People would walk away. They would go there to try to take over. They would see this. They would be like, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this, and turn around and walk away. So that's kind of crazy there. You're going to post some pictures? Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. If I could choose between vampire and werewolf, you'd be vampire? I like vampire, but they have too many weaknesses. In 2013, archaeologists in Bulgaria found two skeletons with iron rods through their chests. According to the article in Archaeology magazine, the pair are believed to have been accused of being vampires. So there's also a young boy in Italy that was dug up, excavated, and he had rocks in his mouth because they assumed that this little boy was going to come back to life as a vampire. So back in the day in Italy, Bulgaria used steel rods and shoved them through the chests of the deceased so they would not be able to rise from the grave. They would also bury them with rocks. And the same thing over in Italy. When someone would die, they would put rocks in their mouth and weigh their bodies down with rocks and then bury them in there. Team Werewolf, exactly. Vlad the Impaler, yes, the original count. Supposed to be, right? That's where Nosferatu would have made Vlad into the vampire. The Forest of the Damned, he impaled his victims. He did. He impaled them. He skinned some of them. Oh, yeah. This guy, he had defense down. Could you imagine going to war and seeing tons of impaled bodies? Are you going to invade that motherfucker? Are you going to invade him? I know I wouldn't invade that bitch. I'd be like, yeah, I'm out, and walk away. He had a great technique for defending his kingdom. He really did. Dracula 2000 was a good movie. Yeah. I'd have to pick Lycan, as they are not controlled by the cycle of the moon. There are different forms of werewolves as well. But there are some really true stories about werewolves, more than there are for vampires. Like I said, in 2013, archaeologists found two skeletons. In Italy, a young boy who died of a disease. When he was buried, they put rocks in his mouth and put big rocks on top of him, and then buried him because they thought that he was going to come back. Vlad the Impaler was a master of psychological warfare, definitely. What's going on, Joker? How are you doing? I dropped a picture of my Vlad tattoo in Discord. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. See, I side with Vlad. I like his ideals. I think his ideals were great. Um, yeah, I just like Vlad. I thought it was awesome. There's good documentaries on Vlad the Impaler, uh, going back in time with him before his warfare, before his psychological warfare. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in certain regions in the Balkans, believe that fruits such as pumpkins, watermelons, would become vampires if they were left out longer than 10 days. So, in different parts of the world, in different countries, different little towns and villages, they believe that if you would leave watermelons and pumpkins out 10 days, longer than 10 days, they would turn into vampires. I don't know how you would come to that conclusion. Yeah, you guys can put your tattoo pictures in Discord under that. Mm-hmm. How is your Sunday going, Big Crazy Ape? How are you doing? Vampires suck. But yeah, the whole vampires turn into pumpkins and watermelons turn into vampires. I thought that was pretty funny. There are a few truly vampiric animals, including leeches, lampreys, and vampire bats. Those are true vampiric animals. They use blood to sustain their life. So you have leeches. Joker's favor, thank you. Welcome to the Horde. Thank you for that follow. Vampire watermelon sound like a plot for the Blackula 3. Right? I have a sword of the ultimate vampire slayer on my wall. Eric Brooks, that's really cool. That is really cool. Did you like Werewolf Transformation? Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, by that time, by the time Teen Wolf came out, they have basically gotten a better way of transformation into werewolf. But the very first transformation, full face transformation, is in Howling, which came out before American Werewolf in London. But American Werewolf in London is the very first werewolf movie where you see full body transformation from human to wolf. Now, back to this porphyria. It is a disease that many people call it the vampire disease. This is where when people would get this disease back in the day, they didn't have a name for it. They really thought you were a vampire. They really thought you were a vampire. And that's where your life was at stake. Your life was really at stake because they believed that you were going to come and kill everybody in town. Sunday is going well. Readjusted my gym schedule to Sunday through Thursday. Love starting off the day with a workout. Now getting coffee. Nice. That's good. Your other cat's Elizabeth Bathory? Yeah, Elizabeth Bathory is known as, like, they say she was a vampire. She was not. She was human. She was a countess, and she has killed over more than 650. 650. She is the most prolific serial killer in history. She is not the most well known. That is Jack the Ripper. But Elizabeth Bathory, yeah, she killed over 650 females when she had her reign. We actually did a whole coffee chat of horrors on Elizabeth Bathory a few months ago. There is a really good documentary on Amazon Prime and on Tubi TV about Elizabeth Bathory. She was real. She has a body count of 650. Yeah, but the Howling did it better. The Howling was only a face, so they could do it better. The Howling was just a face, a small portion, right? Where American Werewolf in London is full body. You've got a man who is 6'1" that you are transforming from human to werewolf and seeing that for the very first time on the big screen. Nobody did that. Nobody did it. And I believe that transformation is better than Howling. Only because Howling was just the head, right? One little workspace, one tiny workspace where a full body transformation. You've seen his legs, his hips, his chest, his back, his rib bones. You've seen everything pop and turn and twist and distort. Where in Howling, you only see the face bones, right? Gums, not guns. Pale skin would pee wine color urine gums degrade as well, exposing more of personal teeth that would suffer from porphyria. Yeah, you were dead. What's up, Sneaky? 650 owning the leaderboards. Yeah,
can. Or I can do the chipmunk.
Jason from Hell 1990, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. I don't know what your name is there. FA99. Thank you for the follow. I don't know what your name is supposed to be. Vampire bats. I can definitely do that.
Just for you, Sneaky Tiger. Just for you.
Vampire bats are one of the few species that reciprocally yes, a bat that eaten with, yes, they can definitely. That is right, Dillinger. You're saying some words this morning that I can't pronounce right now. The Howling was freaky as hell, mind you. The Howling is still freaky. It is a good movie, and if you haven't watched The Howling, you need to. The Howling is also on my list of werewolves. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your name. And yeah. Ooh, Blue, you just like touching yourself, eh? In the Oxford Dictionary, the word vampire makes its presence in 1734. In 1734. Which I thought was pretty cool. Where is... Now we are going to go on to our vampire cosplay as I talk to you more about vampires. I just busted out laughing when you did that. Oh, is that what that means? Can we get rid of that, Ms. Blue? Yes, this cosplay is amazing. Is that, thank you. And it's reported. I didn't see that, but thank you for pointing that out. I did not see that, Klepto. I didn't, honestly, my brain did not put that together. Yes.
Goodbye, Felicia.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a bad name. My brain, honestly, my eyes and brain did not put that together. I just couldn't say what it was. It was just FA99. Yeah, Jason from Hell, my name is after the movie Reanimator. Okay, well, there you go. I don't speak any type of Leet. My eyes and brain don't connect letters and numbers. They never have. When people come into my stream and they have letters and numbers in their names, I have a difficult time registering that. And thank you for reporting that. If that's what it is, yeah, thank you we don't need that shit in here. Rabies was also connected to vampire tales, where rabies was really big back in the day as well. They didn't have vaccines for it. Hi, kitten. They didn't have vaccines for rabies. When you got bit by rabies back in that time, when you got bit by an animal that had rabies, they automatically associated you with being a vampire as well. Thank you, Klepto. I do appreciate it. We got to come up with a better thing to say with my demon voice when we get rid of Felicia's Hellraiser kind of words. You're suffering. Yeah, we're going to have to think of some things. Moving on now. Definitely. Let's see. In New England had a vampire panic. Now, this is real. I'm giving you some actual facts. New England had a vampire panic, which was the reaction to an outbreak of tuberculosis in the 19th century. Rhode Island and eastern Connecticut, Vermont, and other parts of New England. They honestly, you got to remember, back in the early 19th century, tuberculosis, they did not have an actual name for tuberculosis, right? Damn, okay, I'm thinking now, what? Do I like zombie films? I do. I love all types of horror. So Jason from Hell, I am a horror fanatic. If you can't tell from my background, this is not a Halloween setup. This is what my background is. I've been collecting horror for many, many, many years. The content that I create is all horror-based. And this is my Coffee Chat of Horrors web show where we discuss horror-related stuff, sci-fi and thriller. And today is Classic Monsters. Say go to hell in the demon voice.
Go to hell. I don't know. We're going to think of something better.
We'll think of something better. I love the demon voice. I do. I love the demon voice. Yeah, her eyes are beautiful. I love this picture as well. But could you imagine back then in the 19th century and you had tuberculosis, which is you can catch tuberculosis by coughing. That's basically what it is. And you were literally killed. They killed you. It was a vampire panic. They thought vampires were here in Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, and New England, and they were killing people who were sick. This wasn't, oh, we think this person's a vampire, we're going to quarantine them. You were killed. Good morning, Diabolical. Good morning, Towels. The red in her eyes were really pretty. Yeah. You can say maybe no tears, please. It's waste of good suffering. Oh.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I like that. The road to hell is paved with bones of disrespectful idiots, and you're going to join them. Be good. Bodies were exhumed and internal organs ritually burned to stop the vampires from attacking in the local population and to prevent the spread of disease. Notable cases provoked national attention and comment, such as those of Mercy Brown in Rhode Island and Frederick Ranson in Vermont. This is going to the whole vampire outbreak in New England. Yeah, Diabolical, how are you doing this fine Sunday? They are, right? Can you imagine?
Can you imagine me yelling at a dingleberry like this? I don't know. I think it would be quite funny.
Murphy Brown, I remember that show. She was a vampire. Mercy Brown, not Murphy, Mercy Brown. But yeah, going back with this tuberculosis outbreak, it's built right into this Go XLR. It's built right into it. I'm going to be actually making my own. I will be making my own voices as well, as this gives me the tools that I need to create voices. So as I get comfortable playing with this, I will be creating some crazy shit. So I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. Wait till you guys give me that lip sync card, right? Could you imagine me singing Chocolate Salty Balls as a demon? Thank you, Book. Thank you. It's thanks to the Horde. Horde members, for those of you that helped obtain this Go XLR, there is a video on YouTube that personally thanks each and every one of you for helping me obtain and investing in me for this Go XLR. It is out there. It is on the YouTube. Yeah, give me a month and I will have this damn thing down. But yeah, could you imagine having tuberculosis? Oh my God, I can't English. Tuberculosis and being killed. They would take your insides and burn them. Also, people who they thought who passed away from tuberculosis, they exhumed their body and they ritually burned their insides. Like they took their internal organs. So they exhumed bodies out from people who did die before they realized that it was tuberculosis. There were people who died from tuberculosis. They buried them. They thought that, oh my God, these are vampires, so forth and so on. They exhumed their bodies. They took out their hearts, their guts, everything, and ritualistically burnt them in town. If you want to go look up Mercy Brown and Frederick Ranson, these are two notable cases. Mercy Brown was in Rhode Island and Frederick Ranson was in Vermont. I will put all of this information into my Discord by the end of day today. Everything should be in there. Cosplay, all the imagery that you guys see in all of my research will be there as well. Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate that. That is my YouTube channel. If you guys have YouTube and haven't checked it out, go over there. I will be posting at least once a week videos on my YouTube channel, plus going live over there when we have issues with Mixer. Can you imagine chocolate salty balls? Yeah, in demon voice. I watched the movie Trick yesterday. It's definitely your type of movie. Nice. I'm going to have to check it out. That's one movie I haven't seen. Hi, Queen. How are you? If you guys haven't checked out the app called Tubi TV, you can get it on Xbox. I went through Tubi yesterday, over 700 horror movies. I was at 759 before I picked a movie. Over 700 horror movies, going from Leprechaun all the way to Leprechaun in the Ghetto. I watched Stan Helsing yesterday. Stan Helsing on Tubi is going to be leaving Tubi. You need to watch Stan Helsing. It's friggin' funny. It's got everything in it. It's funny. If you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out. I'm doing good, Queen. How are you? How are you doing? Well, Batman, you can also, thank you for letting me know that this is Batman. They freaked out and killed for no reason, kind of like the Salem witch trials. Yep, and Miss, we're going to get into the Salem witch trials when we go over to the witch section of our show today. Thank you, Miss Blue, for putting that out there. If you have Amazon Prime, you can connect it to your Twitch. Thanks for streaming today. Otherwise, I would never have came across you. No, thank you for coming by. I love horror, so it's my passion. It's not horror for me is not a gimmick for my stream. I am truly passionate about horror, sci-fis, and thrillers. So, and hopefully that portrays in my personality as I talk to you guys. It's not some gimmick. It's not what I used to get views. My entire house is set up like this all year round. My yard is like this, 365. And I still have to put my Halloween decorations out. That doesn't happen till the night before or the day of because thieving little bastards. And Mixer was, Scroto, we had some really horrible stuff on Mixer. I love the horrors. Yeah, I do. Love them all. I like this girl's cosplay look. I love her eye makeup. Love that eye makeup. I might try to pull that eye makeup off. I may try to pull that eye makeup off. Yeah, Mixer was not, I meant to say favorite streamer. Yeah, Mixer was really laggy. I had a heads up. Few of my team members, a few of the members, partners that I know on my team were giving heads up saying that Mixer VODs were not saving. It was stuttering. It was freezing. They were dropping high amounts of frames. So this is why I do what I do, right? Jason was my first horror character that I got into. Nice, Jason from Hell. My very first horror movie, I was about 5 years old, was the very first Friday the 13th. I think that's why I'm so in love with the franchise. My biggest number one is Friday the 13th. I have tons of memorabilia and collectibles from that movie. All over. I mean, I have one mask there, another mask over there. I have an entire altar set up to Jason. It's not weird, is it? I'll show you guys that in a YouTube video. People that had seizures back then were believed to be possessed. Yes, life is great. Yes, Heavy. Heavy's always here to help. If you guys don't know who Heavy Metal 45 is, that is the man. That is my other half, Batty Page. Heavy Metal is my other half. He is hilarious. Just wait. The ancient Greeks supposed that gingers turned into vampires when they die, hence where you get that thing, gingers are soulless creatures. The ancient Greeks, this is going back to ancient times, redheads were not the normal thing over in Greece. And the Greeks swore that gingers had no souls. They turned into vampires. Jason from Hell. What? Where did that come from? How come it doesn't show me? Can we get that? Is that what that is? Why didn't it show me? We can just go exclamation point sub high. If that's what that is. Because that's what that is. All you have to do is go like that. Yes. Exclamation point sub hype. It should work. I had it set up. There we go. And we're going to take a couple second break here to get Jason from Hell on the sub coffin. So Jason, for subbing, your name gets to go on the sub coffin. The sub coffin is where your name will stay forever. So you're going to get on there. It's kind of bright, so you won't be able to see it until I turn my light off. And then we will get your name on there. I will turn off the light so you can see it. Oh, thank you, Twitch Retweets, for tweeting out the stream. I appreciate that. Can you guys hear the shaking of the marker? I can hear it in my ears. I just don't know if you guys can hear it. That's one of the weird things. You can hear that. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Just give me 1 second. I am pulling up my thing here so I can get Jason Voorhees' name, proper spelling. Yeah, I don't like that. It's Sick Girl. Sick Girl gifted a sub. Is that what that is, Sick Girl? Ooh. Yes, let it happen. Let it happen. It doesn't show up right for me. I don't know why. Can you hear me right? I can hear myself right. I can hear myself right. Thank you, Sick Girl. Thank you. Let me turn off a light here so I can show you your name on the sub coffin. You guys can hear me move in my chair. Can you hear that too? Let me just switch my scene as well. See, can you see it? Nope. There is your name. Back to par hunting. Okay, babes. So Jason from Hell, there is your name forever immortalized on my sub coffin. Sick Girl, thank you so very much for gifting that sub. I do appreciate it. Thank you. It doesn't show up correctly on my stream alert, so I had to physically open up Twitch. Ron Weasley from Harry Potter is a ginger. Does that make him soulless? Well, according to the Greeks, Batman, according to the Greeks, he would be soulless. Yes. Good morning, Kay. Good morning. It's appropriate to have Jason from Hell 1990 in the Horde. That it definitely is. I have, look at this, Jason. Hold on. Jason from Hell, look at this. Look at this. This is a signed original Fangoria magazine signed by Kane Hodder. And if you all know, Kane Hodder did Jason Goes to Hell. He did From the New Bloodline and up. But I figured Jason from Hell 1990 would get a kick out of that. It is covered in plastic, but this is an original Fangoria magazine that I had Kane Hodder sign last year at this year at a HorrorCon. I had to think. I've met Kane Hodder so many times. This is also when Hocus Pocus came out. Look at that there. That's it. When I die, I am putting it in my will that my ashes be stored at your house. Sounds good, Dillinger. Sounds good. Yeah, I've got a lot of cool things. I love, like I said, Friday the 13th is my favorite. My notebook that I use for streaming. I've got a lot of Friday the 13th. It's my thing. It's my addiction. Roz dragging out her horror playgirls. You got that right. I love collecting Fangoria magazines. But yes, the Greeks thought redheads, gingers, will turn into vampires when they die. Hence where the term gingers are soulless. Believe it or not, that came back from ancient Greeks. That wasn't something that was made in the 90s or in the 80s or in the 70s. Ancient Greeks said that. But it was called gingers. Awesome. Batman. Okay, babes. Okay, I would, but it's hella cold there. It is really cold. I love Hocus Pocus. It's one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies. Kit, how are you, darling? The most famous vampire of all time is Bram Stoker's Dracula. That is one of the most famous vampires. Look at this beautiful cosplay. This is from Van Helsing's vampires as well. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Van Helsing, but this is one of the looks that the vampire from Van Helsing movie. And again, we're going to talk about Elizabeth Bathory. She was considered a true vampire. She was the countess, and she was accused of torturing and killing hundreds of young women. The highest count, again, was 650. That was at her trial. Oh, shit, thank you. I forgot to turn the light back on. It's probably too dark. Yep. In part 3, one of them was reading Fangoria. Moonsmurf throughout Friday the 13th franchise. Many of the magazines that you see, you'd see Fangoria in there, as well as when we see Tommy Jarvis as a little boy. When he kills Jason when he was a little boy. Also, Tom Savini was in that magazine of Fangoria in part 3. This, I believe, is a pretty cosplay. I was going to say it was a little dark. Yes. Nope. Heavy reminded me to turn the lights back on. Turn them back on. Here is another vampire cosplay. Yeah, Saint Savini, right? He is the god. But to me, he is a god. Romanians believed that the best day of the week to kill a vampire was on Saturdays. Yep. That's what it looks like. That's what she looks like, right? Hey, Reaper, how are you, darling? This VOD we will have in Discord as well as on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, you'll be able to do a watch party on Facebook with your people if you've missed today's show. Yeah, it would be. Tasha Deering art, and it's Humpasaurus cosplay according to the notes that's attached to this character. That's funny to me because I used to play Vampire the Masquerade on Saturdays. Yep. According to Romanians, Saturdays was the best day because it was supposed to be the one day that vampires lay powerless in their grave. So why they would think that the vampire all week long would cause havoc and then sleep all day on Saturday is beyond me. But they must have known something. They must have known something. We are going to go into my top vampire movies that you need to see. These are my personal pick. I didn't have a whole huge list because I do have a ginormous list. I'm just giving you the ones that I personally loved. Thank you. What the hell was that? Why don't I see it? Don't understand why I just don't see it. That picture. Diabolical. Thank you so very much. Thank you. They were Seventh-day Adventists? Probably. I really have no idea, but I thought that was crazy. Exclamation point sub hype. Everybody can do it. Diabolical. Mwah. Thank you so very much for that. I do appreciate it. So my top picks for vampire movies: Bordello of Blood, Dusk Till Dawn, What We Do in the Shadows, Vampires, 30 Days of Night, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Nosferatu, Black and White 1921, Silent, Blade franchise, and The Addiction. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Addiction. The Addiction is not well known. Anybody here ever see The Addiction? Near Dark is good. I have a giant list, Dillinger, but I just didn't want to put up 100 fucking vampire movies that I like watching. I forgot the clocks went back into the UK. That's why you're late. Reaper, you're not the only UK person that did that as well. You're not the only one. There are so many vampire movies that I enjoy watching. But this is just my top. Anybody here seen the movie Addiction? The Addiction? Has anyone seen that? The Addiction? Sick Girl, thank you for gifting a sub to Diabolical. I don't know why it doesn't tell me it's a gifted sub. I have to look over on the Twitch side of things. Thank you, Sick Girl, for doing that. I appreciate it. No? Nobody has seen The Addiction? Not that you can... Check it out. It's an older movie. Some of these that I've given you are older. Bordello of Blood is fun. It's a fun vampire movie. Not that you can recall. You've seen it. Yeah. Gifted sub hype for sure. Sick Girl is amazing. Reaper has as well. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a great movie. Definitely a great movie. But like I said, this is just a small list because I could go into hours of the movies that I like, and I don't have that kind of time. I do need to stay on track. Sometimes that's a little difficult to do. This is our werewolf portion. Now, this is one of my favorites. I love werewolves. Love werewolves. So we are on to the werewolf portion. So now we can start talking all about our werewolves. Who's eating my chats? What? Thank you for that, host Jason from Hell. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Beat vampire death scene at the end of Buffy. Yeah, right. Later in the day, more people are using the cell towers down to audio now. Oh, that sucks, Blue. You've never seen Bordello of Blood? Definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. I'm older, so I've seen a lot of older horror. Well, I mean, I'm not older, but I enjoy older horror movies. I watched all of the black and whites. I think they're really, really amazing movies. Yep, games, films. I love Tall, Dark, and Handsome Vampire any day. Well, of course. I mean, they're good looking, but they can only come out at night. So the word werewolf derives from the Old English compound were, meaning man, and wolf, spelled with a U, meaning wolf. So it would be spelled WEREWULF. The American version of the word wolf is spelled with an O. I love bad horror movies as well. They're great. Squirtle, have you checked out Tubi TV? Tubi has a crap ton of movies. Over 700 horror movies and counting. I got it on my Xbox. Yep, Christopher Lee. Yep. Hammer, there's lots of Hammer. Yeah, lots of them. You got your Universal Monsters. You've got vampire movies dating back to the 20s, right? You've got Bela Lugosi in some of them, Lee, and there's been so many. I'm putting my picture of Blade Sword in your Discord. Awesome. Thank you, Lagather. Thank you, Stick Girl. I was like, what? What'd I do? I was answering Snapchat. No worries, Diabolical. No worries. Thank you, Stick Girl. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed the Monster Marathon on Twitch. Yes, Shorecat posted a thing on Twitter about Twitch's Monsterthon they were having the other night. It was pretty cool. I didn't get a chance to watch it. So werewolves are sometimes also called lycanthropes. This term comes from the ancient Greek word leukos, meaning wolf, and anthropos, meaning human. The origin of the lycanthrope idea dates as far back as the 5th century BC, when a renowned Greek historian Herodotus mentioned a tribe from Scythia and transformed into wolves once a year for several days, and then changed back to their human shape. Now, according to, oh my goodness, Sick Girl, thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you for gifting a sub to Scroto Baggins. Can I get that sub hype? It's still going, Shorecat. Nice. Nice. Get that sub hype, exclamation point sub hype. Thank you, Sick Girl. Thank you. I appreciate it. But that's where you would get the history of lycanthrope, where you would have people like Lagather say they would like to be a lycanthrope because they would transform once for a few days every year. You would get that from the ancient Greeks, and an ancient Greek historian, Herodotus, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Herodotus, I know, scrubbed sub. I know, because I was trying to say scroto and sub at the same time, so we got scrub. Do I like the Blob, the movie Blob? It's a good movie. The original is good. Definitely. But that's where you would get the lycanthrope, where they would change into werewolf for a few days out of the year. And that dates back to the Greeks. The Greeks had a lot of mythology and legends on vampires, wolves, not as much as in the witches side of things, because they believed in oracles, but they had a lot to do with the vampire and werewolf scene. Werewolf, hands down, werewolf. I love the thought of vampires, but technically the vampires are very easy to kill. They're so easy to kill. Thank you, Blood Unicorns, for that host. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Why doesn't it show up here? Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I can hear all that stuff going on down there. Tonight is more episodes from Monster Season 1 and the midnight movie, The Cater Lake Monster. Nice. Crater. Okay, crater. The sun has peaked over the mountain finally. The frost on the trees is melting, making it sound like it's raining. That's got to sound pretty cool. That does. It's got to sound pretty cool. This is another pretty piece of artwork. In Native Indian culture, werewolves play a big role. And I think that's pretty cool. I love finding out what different cultures have and what they put on pedestals, meaning what they worship around. And this is a beautiful picture. Yes, all of this, the cosplay, the pictures, everything that you see is done by Reaper 1923. All of this will be in my Discord. So if you have missed portions of this show, you will be able to catch all of this imagery, wallpapers, comic books, cosplay, all of this over in my Discord. You will catch it in 2 channels, the Reaper 1923 channel in my Discord and in Coffee Chat of Horrors, where I will put all of my research plus a VOD of this show. And it'll also be on Facebook, so you can do a Facebook party, watch party. That's the only way, karaoke. The only way a werewolf can be killed is with a silver bullet. But how many people have silver bullets in their back pocket? Especially back then. Vampires can be killed in several ways, and they have several weaknesses. So being a vampire, you are the weakest out of the monster bunch. You would think mummies are the weakest, but they're not. They're not. Vampires are the weakest out of the monsters. They can be subdued with garlic, holy water crosses. Their heads can be chopped off to murder their bodies, and a stake through the heart. Werewolves have no other weaknesses. You can cut their bodies off. You can cut their arms and their head and their legs off. Their bodies will repair themselves. Werewolves will repair themselves. Werewolves cannot. They have no weaknesses. None. They are the perfect killing machine. You can shoot them with a silver bullet. That's the only way you can kill a werewolf. Vampires have tons of ways they can die. They have tons of weaknesses. Like I said, I would personally want to be a werewolf over any of the monsters. Yeah, silver weapon, but that silver weapon has to stay in their body, Scroto. You can't stab a werewolf with silver and walk away. It has to stay inside their bodies, hence why people would use silver bullets and not stakes. Sick Girl, thank you for gifting a sub to Batty Page. You mean you don't walk around with silver bullets? I have one silver bullet. It's in my bedroom. I do have an actual silver bullet. But no, I don't walk around. But immortality, yeah. But werewolves are immortal as well. They do not die. So you've got vampire immortality, which you will eventually die and have several weaknesses, or you go to werewolf. If a werewolf was stabbed with a silver stake and that stake was to stay in the body, they would die. If they were just stabbed and that knife came out, they do not die. They will not heal as fast either, but they will not die. The silver must stay in their body. So if the silver bullet passes through them, then what? You're fucked. You better have more than one. I'd rather be a werewolf because you can go out in the sunlight. Exactly. I would eat so many people it wouldn't even be funny. And I'd have no remorse. Here, how about
I would eat so many human bodies and there would be no remorse.
Metro is going to ruin this. Please hold. So the bullets have to stay inside. The bullets have to stay inside the werewolf's body. And the reason why is because according to lore, the composition of silver goes through their bloodstream and kills them. That is the composition of it. If the bullet was to go through their body, it's a hole. None of the compound of the silver is staying in their body. But that is all myth, right? That is all myth. The real stories of werewolves come, and we're gonna get into that. The real stories of werewolves. They were technically actual wolves doing the killings, but people, you know how like they like to tell stories, right, and scare their children. They would say they were werewolves. They would say they were werewolves. Just curious, since we were talking about werewolves, have you seen the Netflix original? I have seen The Order. I have. I'm waiting for season 2 to come out. I'm in Canada, so it might take a little longer than season. I liked it. But how about, yeah, you could do birdseed as long as you have silver birdseed, right? It'd have to be pure silver. Buckshot, little tiny balls inside of a casing. That can do some damage too and kill a wolf. Have you ever noticed in Underworld they had those Chinese stars type of things, and they would stick it into their bodies, and they did not die right away because if you pulled them out, but if they had so many done, that goes on with the myth and the legend of werewolves. Yeah, I would think so. But according to Bram Stoker's fable, vampires could come out in the daylight, but they were not at full strength. Yeah, but that's only one. That's only one. I'm actually going by myth, by legend and myth from the Greeks and other countries. I'm not going by a movie and a book written. I'm actually going by mythology. If we look at Twilight, vampires fucking sparkle and can be out in the daylight. If they're out in the daylight, their bitchy skin sparkles. So, I personally don't believe in that. Hey, Marvelous Mars. Yes, we are. We are. I'm a fan of magic. Yeah, it definitely, right? Definitely. I love magic. I love all of this stuff. Oh my goodness, Sick Girl, thank you for gifting a sub to Furlong. Furlong, you just got gifted a sub by Sick Girl. How are you doing, Marvelous? I am a horror content creator, and I am a fanatic with horror. So I host every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, Coffee Chat of Horrors, and today is Classic Monsters. How is your Sunday going? Wasn't Near Dark with Southern Vampires, though? I believe so. Yo, Blue, that sucks. Is that the one where they say Harry Potter can kiss my ass as they jump off the cliff? I don't know. I really haven't watched too much Twilight. I heard the vampires sparkle and I said, oh, hell no. Have we already discussed Real Vampires of the World? Yes, we discussed Marvelous. We discussed vampires earlier in the session. We are now on our werewolf portion of the show. Thank you for that sub hype. Thank you. Dahi, thank you for those biddies. How are you, sweetness? Thank you so much for those biddies. Oh, guys, if you haven't seen the thank you YouTube video for the Go XLR, I know Dahi, Go Klepto, Metro Birdman. There's a few of you out there that help me obtain this, that invested into my stream, into my content creation. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. I did nothing. I have no remorse for my revenge shit I did to my ex-boyfriend. He deserves exactly diabolical. Sometimes they deserve everything they get. This is all beautiful artwork that we're looking at. It's all done by Reaper 1923. Now, in the 2nd century, famous Greek surgeon and physician Galen of Pergamon described a health condition as clinical lycanthropy. It was a psychiatric syndrome when a patient thought he could transform into an animal. So there is an actual mental health condition. Now, there is also a medical condition, which we'll get into as well as we go through our werewolves. I'm good. I've been really busy traveling all over the state. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I have my dad up from Texas, and we've been visiting a lot of friends and relatives. That's amazing. I hope you're having a great time. Klepto, are you feeling better? I remember seeing a picture on Instagram yesterday of your adorable fur baby and seeing that you weren't feeling well. Speaking of vampires, Ra, you have seen Vampire yet? Vampire? No, I don't think so. You mean, are you talking about the game or a movie? But I wanted to stop by and say hi. It's been fun. I miss hanging out with the Horde. We miss you too, Dahi. We miss you. I definitely miss you Friday nights as twinsies. I definitely do. Do werewolves tie into Norse mythology? There's actually tons of Norse, Viking, and there's werewolves all over. Werewolves aren't as well, I mean, vampires were not well known in Norse mythology, nor were they with Vikings or anything like that. But werewolves, they were. Werewolves were. There is a full line of werewolf mythology in almost every culture around the world, where vampires, not so much. Vampires were basically parts of the world that were secluded, had a lot of vampire stories, not as many werewolf stories. But some of these places that these vampire legends and myth comes from, they weren't forest-filled industry areas. So we all know wolves live in forestry. A lot of these places didn't have that surrounding them, depending on the area that we're talking about, right? Bulgaria. Yeah, definitely check it out. Yeah, Norse. So, the game Vampire. Yeah, the game Vampire, I have it. Yeah. I'm just catching up with chat. Everything is scrambling for me. The more I use the service, the more constricted it gets. Unlimited my ass. I friggin' hate the fact there is no... That sucks, Blue. I am sorry to hear that. Hello, a wild Moogie. How are you? I've been really enjoying all of those amazing photos you've been posting on mountains, right? She's been posting some amazing pictures over on Twitter. Hopefully Blue will be coming back to streaming soon. Content creation once everything gets settled. I would choose to be a werewolf as well. Loki's son is wolf. Loki's daughter is hell. Loki's kids are metal as fuck. That is very true. Now that is an actual mental health issue called clinical lycanthropy, where people would actually think that they would turn into werewolves, and they did not. It's not only just werewolves, but they would transform into any type of animal. Now, there's also another medical condition, a physical medical condition that is real. One of the first cases of this is in Mexico. And back in the day when Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey had their sideshow and their circus, you guys remember the freak shows? They actually had a real boy. He was from Mexico, and he was one of the first people with that illness. And it was called hypertrichosis, which was the werewolf syndrome. He was one of the first in the United States, so actually from Mexico, but into the United States as in the sideshow, in the freak show for Barnum and Bailey. Thank you, a wild Moogie. Welcome to the Horde. Thank you for that follow. I had to upgrade my Twitch to Pro. Oh, so you can use your Amazon Prime if you have it. You just connect your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account, and you get a free sub to Twitch every month. Every month. You saw that on CSI? Lycanthropy. Yes, lycanthropy. How I need to watch The Howling. You need to watch The Howling. It's very good. That is where you're going to see the first face of wolf transformation on screen. I will at some time next week. I get to go car shopping. Then I look for a second job, grinding at life, trying to come back, doing Twitter and Discord. And that's very important. You are doing awesome, Blue. Keeping your community engaged on social media is a number one thing when you are taking a hiatus from content creation. Even trying to keep up on your YouTube channel by doing little video uploads about your day, little vlogs about how you're doing. I think it's very important when you take a hiatus from your content creation that you still stay connected to your community. That's a very important thing. And I think you're doing an amazing job of it. Yeah, you got to make sure, that you're ready to hit the ground running. Being patient so I don't jump the gun. You don't want to mess anything up for sure. I want to be a were Chico. Once a month, I want to turn into half man, half chihuahua. There's Mr. Chico. He's right there. He moved his bed to where he would just be off screen. The idea of werewolves became most widespread in Europe, with almost every European country having its own version of this folklore mythological monster. And it's very true. over in Europe, they have several stories of werewolves. Several. And the idea of werewolves became most widespread in Europe, with almost every European country having its own version of this folklore. Yeah. So every European version of European widespread had their own version. And technically, the werewolves that they were talking about were cursed werewolves by gypsies, just like you would see in American Werewolf in London. In Northern Europe, where the werewolf myth has been very popular, there were also legends about people transforming into other animals such as bears as well. Can you imagine a werebear? I know in True Blood they had, were-panthers and all sorts of happy were stuff. Midgets were chihuahuas. Yeah, I'm going to give my phone a break. No worries, Miss Blue. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. You will be able to watch all of this and all of the content that I did my research on, and all of the artwork in Discord and over on YouTube. Also, you'll be able to check it out on Twitch if you want to watch the VOD over here. Yes, they do. Ankle biters. Yes, you are definitely right. They do have one called ankle biters. Yep. There definitely is, Gamer Sass. There is tons of shape-shifting legends. Tons. Bears is one of the biggest ones besides werewolves. The transformation in Hemlock Grove was insanely good. The rest of the show, not so much. I agree, Batty. I started watching Hemlock Grove. Kind of got bored of it. I did kind of get bored of it. What is that? Why am I not seeing that? I'm definitely not seeing my any type of hosts. I'm hearing it though. I like the first season of Grimm. Yeah, I like the first season of Grimm as well. I really couldn't get into Supernatural. Yeah, see, I got bored of Hemlock Grove. I love this picture of the werewolf. Through the 16th century, European colonists that the werewolf legend spread to the Americas. So when they were making the 13 colonies, you had your European colonists coming over to the United States at the time, the Americas, going all over actually, and they were spreading this myth of werewolves. So you also have them in South America and in a few other countries, werewolf myths, not as huge as the European area. Don't say that, Supernatural. I really couldn't get into Supernatural. My heart is obsessed with Supernatural. Really? Depending on the myth, there's a few different methods the change takes to. Yep. There are several different ways to transform. Oh, karaoke. There's tons of really good werewolf movies. I'm going to give you a list of my personal favorites, a short list of my personal favorites, but there is tons. In the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series, there's all kinds of were-animals. Yep. There's tons of stories and books on werewolves and were-animals. Not all of the mythological werewolves were evil creatures. In Latvia and Lithuania, for example, the werewolves called Vilkalkis was sometimes beneficial to humans. I gotta move this here. Scarletta, thank you for that host. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now I can see it. I just got to move it up. I made it to a part where I can actually see. Hi, kitty. Where I can actually see everything. Hi. Yep. Lay down. Please don't sit on my cord because you like to pull things out. Thank you. Now lay down. Okay, so anyways, some werewolves were beneficial to humans, bringing them treasures. The idea of a good werewolf was also used in popular fantasy series of Twilight movies. MZW Ricks, thank you for that host, sweetness. Thank you. Were made in the series of Twilight movies where werewolves would protect humans from the evil vampires. Now, I know in history, mythology, during movies, werewolves worked for vampires, but that technically was not the case. Werewolves and vampires were not really working with each other when these myths came out in certain parts of the world. Silver Bullet and American Werewolf in London are my go-to movies. Silver Bullet is on Amazon Prime as well. If you're ever in Calgary, Diabolical, yes, definitely has a guy. Serial killer definitely does. Got to meet LKH at a reading here once. That's really cool. I like the Anthony Hopkins. There's Wolfman, The Wolf. There are several. We're actually Scroto. Anthony Hopkins one is on my list of werewolf movies to watch. You want to hear a demon purr from the cat? She's not purring yet. We can try. What two games I picked up for a good price? Evil Within and Evil Within 2. Nice. I binge watched all the seasons when I was away, and now your heart is breaking. Oh no. It's awesome. On my birthday, she's one of my writing idols. That's amazing. That is amazing. Good morning, Bruno. How are you? How are you doing? The link between werewolves and vampires has an ambiguous, though. While the werewolves are generally thought to compete with vampires, some Eastern European legends suggest that dead werewolves would be reborn into vampires, according to some myth. The idea of werewolvery being transmitted by a bite could have originated from the disease such as rabies. Rabies plays a big role in many of these myths and legends that we hear from all different cultures, because they didn't have cures or vaccines for rabies or tuberculosis, right? Wait, what did I wait? What, moved from Mixer to Twitch a few weeks back and been hella out of the loop. Oh, did you? Very cool. I'm on Twitch. Mixer is not working today. I've been having a lot of issues. We tried to stream to Mixer this morning and it was very laggy, so I'm over here on Twitch because I seem to get what did I watch, Reaper? What have I watched? I haven't watched Twilight. That's some shit I've only seen pieces of it. Jack Nicholson is in a werewolf movie. We will get to that as well. I have a list of werewolf movies. Yeah, right, Sure Cat. I wonder if they have the issues that we have. Okay, so according to most European legends, the werewolf could have been recognized even in his human form thanks to several physical traits such as curved fingernails and unibrows. Oh, I've watched Wolfman. Oh, that's on my list. Wait, which Wolfman? There is more than one Wolfman. Okay, Moon Smurf, have a good one, sweetness. Thank you for stopping by, and I will slash you later. I mean, Supernatural has had its slow points in the series, but most shows, every show has a slow point, hon. Every show has a slow point. If I ever get to Canada, I am never leaving. I'm never leaving because I will move there. I hate Philly sometimes. Well, if you come to Canada, let me know where you're going to be moving. The Hopkins ones. Yes, I've seen Anthony Hopkins in what is it, Wolfman. Actually, it's on my list. Super Mario. Mwah, thank you for that host. It's definitely a great movie. It's on my list of movies to see as werewolves. We just did my list of movies of vampires. We'll get into my list of movies that you need to see before you die, werewolf-wise. Can you imagine being a hairy person back in the day in Europe, having a unibrow? You would be considered a werewolf. You wish you lived in Canada? You're so sick of the States? I'm in Canada. Me? I'm Canadian, eh? Alberta. Reaper follows again. Of course, I've seen werewolves are one of my favorites. I have seen almost every werewolf movie dating back to 1932. They are one of my favorites. Yeah, no, our country is beautiful. Our government is shit. So it really, just like the States. The States is great. The government is, but that's politics. That's politics. I have a unibrow. Am I a werewolf? Well, back in European old times, you would be considered a werewolf and they would kill you. These are not just myths. Europeans and Americans, we're going to get into that shit too, and Americans thought werewolves were real. And back in European time, if you were seen as a werewolf or a vampire due to having such illnesses as rabies or tuberculosis, you were put to death. Your insides were removed from your body and burned in a ritualistic burning. Wrap that around your heads. Well, Heavy's with me in Alberta. Super Mario. Heavy is with me in Alberta. The good one with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro had a scary as fuck transformation. They definitely did. It was CGI, yes, and FX. They definitely did, Scroto. The first Twilight is meh. I haven't seen any of the Twilights. I've seen bits and pieces of Twilight here and there. I don't want to die a virgin werewolf with tuberculosis and burn. Right, Jacob? We need an effing awesome werewolf game. We do. We do. It is, especially our province. Especially our province. Were many guaranteed ways of becoming a werewolf. You know how we have ways of becoming a vampire. There are numerous ways to become a werewolf. Good morning, Mischief Maker. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, but we have Trump, so I'll take... Well, we have healthcare, yeah, but unfortunately, we'll see. We'll see how our future beholds. I would love a werewolf game, right? Yeah, I served my country for 8 years in the army. Now I serve me. There you go, Diabolical. You're in Ottawa? Yeah. I don't think there ever been a werewolf. No, there hasn't. I have not. I mean, okay, you got ESO where you can be turned into a werewolf, but I have not seen any traditional spare parts. I love that. I love that saying. Your spare parts, eh, bud? Spare parts, eh? Anyways, there is no full-on werewolf game. There are werewolves inside video games like ESO, but there is no full-on werewolf video game. And there were guaranteed ways of becoming a werewolf. The most common were inherit the werewolvery from parents, get bitten by a werewolf, get cursed by a gypsy, which was one of the biggest ones, put on a werewolf skin belt, which would turn you into a werewolf. If you drank water out of a werewolf's footprint, who would be drinking water out of a footprint? Or sleep outside with a full moon shining on the person's face. Those were some of the ways that you were able to be turned into a werewolf according to legend. Altered Beast? Yeah. There's been nothing new. I have Altered Beast up there. Actually, you guys can't see it. I have pop figures of Altered Beast up there. GTA has a beast. Yes, GTA does have a beast versus slashers, but I haven't seen a real full-on werewolf. True, like we have vampire games. Where is a full-on werewolf game? I've lost the ability to English today. I try to stay away from Twilight now because I know there are better movies. Definitely. I don't know why only the face, but if you were sleeping outside under a full moon and the full moon light was shining on your face, that was one sure way of you turning into a vampire. Teen Wolf is a great movie. And that is inherited werewolfism, right? Like they say, there are common ways you can inherit the werewolvery from parents, which in Teen Wolf, that's inheriting the werewolf gene. Here is our werewolf cosplay as well. Now we're gonna get into a real story about werewolves. This is a actual fact. And it is on the records in history. Yeah, the TV series, yeah, Teen Wolf, but the movie is great. I found Hemlock Grove to be boring. I stopped watching it. I found it to be boring. Maybe I'll try getting into it again. So here is our cosplay of werewolves. One of the most popular real stories based on werewolf ideas and attacks was one of the Beasts of Gévaudan, and it's Gévaudan. Between 1764 and 1767, the Gévaudan province in south central France was terrorized by an unspecified wolf-like creature. Now this is real. Allegedly, the beast attacked over 200 humans, killing and eating about 100 of them. At the time, people thought it was to be a werewolf, but modern theory suggests it was a huge domestic dog or dog-wolf hybrid. Now, this province was heavily forested. So it had lots of forests, lots of trees, lots of wolves. And there is an actual picture on record seeing how big this wolf was. Now, the whole werewolf theory came in because they thought it was somebody from the village, from the province that was coming around and killing people. 200 humans were attacked and killed, and 100 of them were eaten. So back then, yeah. And we have a true story in the United States. This is on the records, and this is current. Well, not 2000 current, but 1990s current. Yeah, Oz turned because little cousin bit him on his birthday. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of my favorite TV shows. It's a great TV show. Yes, that's exactly it, sick girl. Damn, you were doing so good in the first part of that. So in the United States, in 1999, 907 people insured themselves, paid money, they insured themselves against turning into werewolves. 907 Americans insured themselves against turning into werewolves. I'm waiting for the new one. I would like to see a Buffy. I would love to see a Buffy. Yes, the Van Helsing one. I've seen that. Yeah, 1999. There's actual insurance. There is actual insurance for people to insure themselves. 900 Americans signed up for that shit. Yes, and this is a really good cosplay. I love this cosplay. It's a good thing we're not on Mixer. It's a good Reaper. It's a good thing we're not on Mixer with this. I know Buffy is the main focus as well as her crew, but how good is Giles in that series? I love him too. I don't know the company that sells it. This game is called Werewolf the Apocalypse, coming out next year for PC and Xbox One. I'm going to have to check that out. We need to get moving. I need to get moving. I'm running late. Werewolves were thought as being supernatural healing abilities, also known to be immune to damage caused by ordinary human weapons. The only thing supposed to hurt them is a silver object, primarily a silver bullet that has to stay lodged in the body. It might have been inspired by the beast of Gevadon that was allegedly killed with a silver consecrated bullet. This is some more artwork on our vampires that we're going to go through. Now, thanks to the fearsome reputation of werewolves, it became very popular in Gothic horror genre at the beginning of the 19th century, and their popularity was increased leading up to the very first Main Street werewolf film in 1935, Werewolf of London. This is the Werewolf of London, not the American Werewolf of London that came out later on, several years later. This is actually called the Werewolf of London. If you have not seen it, it is on my list of werewolf movies to see. It's the very first werewolf movie. Number one. He is awesome. Yeah, he is. And I don't know the name of them. Damon was my mom's and grandmother's favorite. I used to watch Vampire Diaries, and then it got too high schooly for me. Very high schooly for me. Okay, so fascinated with the occultism and old German mythology, Adolf Hitler used the word werewolf, but the German spelling of werewolf, as a code name for one of his headquarters in World War II. He was very into the occult. He was very fascinated about the cult, and werewolfism was part of that. And he had one of his headquarters was named Werewolf. This is a Bela Lugosi tattoo. My top picks of werewolves movies. Now, I love werewolves, so it's a little longer list than the vampire ones. American Werewolf in London, Howling. You definitely need to watch The Howling. Wolfman, Wolfen, Silver Bullets, Wolf. I don't know if you guys remember Wolf, Jack Nicholson. The Wolf Man, Van Helsing, Werewolf of London, 1935, The Wolf Man, 1941, Teen Wolf, and Ginger Snaps. Ginger Snaps is a Canadian-made werewolf movie. It's got a couple of actual werewolf films. I'm thinking of Monster Squad again. Monster Squad's gonna come up in my mummy section. Um, this is a couple of more werewolf tattoos. Nicholson in wolf makeup. Yeah, there was that's a great movie. If you've never seen Wolf, you definitely need to see it. Michelle Pfeiffer is in it as well. I read the books before they were ever talked about on Vampire Diaries becoming a show. I started watching Vampire Diaries and then it became too high school for me. Oh, that's weird. Why did it change? Why is it changed? Thank you for telling me. I don't know why it changed. It completely changed my scene. Like it changed my entire selection to my YouTube chat. That's weird. That's really weird. Yeah, anyone remember the TV show She Wolf in London? No. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was XSplit. It literally switched it from my pictures to over to my YouTube chat. Ginger Snaps one was good. I seen it in the movie theater as well. Two was okay. Hey, how you doing, Sin? Yeah, the Vampire Diaries was meant for teen young readers. Yes, it was too high school for me. This is a really cool tattoo. How you doing, Sin? But yes, you guys need to watch it. And you want to watch the very first werewolf movie. It's 1935. I would definitely check it out. And then we're going to get into our witches. We have a half hour to get into witches and mummies, which is okay because mummies, there's not much on. Mummies are not a big thing, especially in the monster world. Oh, yeah, I'm a lot older than you, Batman. So yeah, I started watching Vampire Diaries because I like the idea of vampires and werewolves and witches. And I did. I enjoyed the first season and then it just started getting too high schooly for me. And as an adult, I was like, yeah, if I want to relive this high school bullshit, I'd go back to fucking high school. I never even watched it. Again, it was too high schooly for me. It was different than Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I can watch that now and not feel all high schooly. Do you know what I mean? This is a nicely done tattoo. We've got a nice big list of witches as well. And some true stories about witches and some mythology on witches. I meant She-Wolf of London. It was a series of Sci-Fi Channel that ran. Yeah, we may not have gotten that here, SSJ. The shading is done very well. Mm-hmm. And why does it show this instead? Let's see. Now we are on our witch portion. This is all artwork for the witches. This is our portion of witch. Buffy. I liked Buffy. Nope. Nobody can make you cry. Don't believe me. Then watch the episode of Body. Buffy. Okay. There you go. Toxic tits, baby. It is unclear exactly when witches came onto the historical scene, but one of the earliest records of a witch is in the Bible, in the book of Samuel, thought to be written in Book of 1 in Samuel, that thought to be written between 931 BC and 721 BC. It tells the story of when King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit to help him defeat the Philistine army. That is one of the very earliest records of witch. In the Bible, you will see that. Also, King James did write a book, a witch book. A lot of this, the witch hunt started in the UK and then worked its way down to the Protestants in the United States when the 13 colonies, when European colonists went down. We're going to get into a little bit more about the witch. Piper, I loved Charmed. I like the Halloween episode of Buffy where they turned into characters they were dressed as. Can we watch that anywhere? The witch roused Samuel, who then prophesied the death of Saul and his sons. The next day, according to the Bible, Saul's sons died in battle and Saul committed suicide. So, you know, that whole thing there where the witches were summoning and then having the witch roused Samuel and basically he prophesied the deaths. And that's actually in the Bible. It is. It is. It's kind of scary. Most witches weren't burnt at the stake. During the Salem witch trials, no one was burned to death. All of the accused that pled their cases and were found guilty during the trials in 1692 were all hung. The fact that they hung people was price and cost effective. Burning was not an option. Because one, it would be not cost effective, plus the entire area would smell of burning rotten flesh, as the amount of people that they murdered and accused for being witches would be tremendous. It would be too many. Witches of Eastwick? Yes, just wait for my witch list. I have a list of witch movies that you must see. In fact, no one found guilty of witchcraft was ever executed by burning in the American colonies. So all the stories about witches being burned, technically, majority of them in Salem and in the United States at that time were never burned. Not one. Not one. The new Hansel and Gretel movie trailer, yes, it actually looks pretty good, Batty. That does look like Fergie, right? Why do I hear that noise? What is that? I got to figure out what noise that is. This is another pretty decent artwork of a witch. Witch hunts didn't specifically target women. Majority of the people that were accused of witchcraft were women, but it wasn't just women. It was women and men. Not as many men were convicted of witchcraft, but it was a little bit of everything, but the majority were women. People could be convicted of witchcraft without any solid evidence. We're mainly talking about witchcraft and witches in the United States at that time in the 13 colonies. Anybody could say that you were a witch and you could have been convicted of it with no actual proof. We don't know exactly where the word witch came from. All the etymology geeks out there may or may not have been surprised to know that the word witch is of indeterminate origin. The closest and most obvious possible origin is the Old English word Wicca, which is W-I-C-C-E, which means female sorceress, and is the basic linguistic root for the modern day pagan religion Wicca. Another more specific possibility is a split meaning coming from the Old English wiggle, W-I-G-L-E, meaning divination, and with meaning idol, both coming from the Pro-Germanic word Wikkajaz, which I'm probably killing that, W-I-K-K-J-A-Z, which means necromancer or one who wakes the dead. So there is no actual date or origin of where the word witch came from. None whatsoever. If they didn't wear those hats, then no one would have known. Do you know that no actual witch wore pointy hats? Any witch that was pointed as a witch never wore pointy hats. The pointy hats came into effect for costumes and theater play. Yep, and witches were known to have familiars, which were mostly cats, mainly black cats, but that is not true either, because a witch's familia can be anything that they that comes to them. Witches don't pick their familias pick them. And the biggest thing to happen in the whole witch thing, which made things even worse for many people who were accused. Now, this is a witch doctor. in times in this culture, in different cultures, witch doctors were meant for healing and healing the sick or performing rituals to help bring food or rain or anything. And they were held high in their culture. Unlike the European and the American version, where witches were frowned upon, thought about as satanic people, witch doctors, who were the same thing as witches, were held up on a pedestal. They were the highest in culture in some tribes. Yeah, they look like common people. Most witches, actual witches, look like common people. I was born into Wicca. I am a third generation. I no longer practice it as Wicca. I am opened more on a spiritual level. Laws about witchcraft were in place in the mid-20th century. Now, here's a scary part about a pope. I thought it came from the ancient word of shadow demon. They have there is no actual proof of where the word witch originated from. There are several theories on how it was, but there are no actual proof of where the word witch originated from. But there were good witches. Yes, there were always good witches. Do you recommend any books or videos for some that doesn't know much about Wicca? Yes, anything by Scott Cunningham. I can pull out some books for you. I'll take some pictures. I will take some pictures and put them into Discord of the books that I own that I enjoyed reading. There is a book that I've had for a very long time. My first deck of tarot cards were given to me at 16 years of age. And I have been reading since I was 16. Diablo 3 Witch Doctor? Very cool. That's an actual drawing. That there is an actual drawing, painting of that witch doctor. Yes, Raymond Buckland. There are many out there. I will send you pictures. I have a huge library of Wicca and Pagan. I will post them in Discord for you. I'll take pictures after the show. A pope. We were inside of each other. Friday the 13th, the game. Yes, you have a lot of Bucklands. Did I just say Scott? Yeah, Cunningham. I'll show you some books that I have. A pope once confirmed that witches exist. This is coming from a pope in the Catholic Church. They saw witchcraft as a threat to all of its followers, and in 1484, Pope Innocent I don't know the number of this one, VIII, issued a papal bull titled Summus Desperantis Affectibus, desiring with supreme ardor. A pope in 1484 confirmed witches exist, which caused a huge outcry and a hunt for witches. And a lot of people looked up to the Catholic Church, especially back then. They looked up to them. And once a pope confirms it, everybody believes it. Look at that weather. You were always confused on Baron, Warlock, or Zombie. Yes, 8. Yeah, I don't know my Roman numerals. I don't pay attention to that. I haven't since school. Laws about witchcraft were real, and they were put in place in the mid-20th century. Technically, England's Witchcraft Act, which was a real act of 1735, was still officially on the books until 1951. Isn't that kind of crazy? So England's Witchcraft Act of 1735 was still official on the books until 1951, when it was replaced with the Fraudulent Mediums Act. Yeah, I have no idea. Religion back then was strong. And when you have a pope stating that witches exist, people went nuts. Witches really did fly on broomsticks in a way. People who practiced witchcraft back in the day experimented with lots of herbs and potions, and do not do this. Mandrake is very dangerous. People who practiced witchcraft experimented with herbs and potions in rituals that may have used mandrake plant. Mandrake contains scopolamine and atropine, 2 alkaloids that cause feelings of euphoria in low doses and hallucinations in higher doses. You dabble? Yeah, I was born into it. I've been practicing for a very long time. Do not mess around with mandrake. Mandrake is very poisonous. And if you do not know what you are doing, do not do it. Just like with any type of herb, there's lots of herbs out there that can naturally cause hallucinations and other forms of visions. Do not do it if you do not know what you are doing. There are many stupid people out there. So please, children eat Tide Pods. Tells you how many stupid people are out there. Do not eat mandrake unless you know what you're doing. Definitely. Definitely. Is a voodoo zombie drug. Yes, it's part of the voodoo zombie drug. Dillinger, I did an entire show on zombies and voodoo, and it was actually pretty good. I think it still might be up on YouTube if you are interested. Right? Because brooms back then were a normal thing to find in someone's house. And that's what they looked like back then. Over a period of 10 months, 165 people were accused of being a witch in Salem. 31 were imprisoned. However, only 18 women and 1 man were put to death. There were several others that were put to death outside of the Salem witch trials. Hell is in Texas. Let's see here. That is our mummies. But I want to do our witch cosplay. There we go. Mr. Chico, as he's going in and out. It is possible to trace the origins of witch hunting to an incident that occurred in 1208. 2 of the Pope's inquisitors were staying in a house in Avignon, in south of France. They were staying there to root out heretics. In the middle of the night, a knight of Raymond, who believed that the Old Testament God was a demon, was admitted to the house. He slaughtered Pierre de Castelnau. After this murder, the Pope was determined to stamp out heretics at all costs. A bloody crusade followed. Cathars were dragged from their homes and burned. Now, again, this is in France, not in the United States. In 1244, 200 of them were burned on a gigantic bonfire at Montesor. Those that survived were no longer accused of heresy. So if you survived the fire, you were no longer considered accused of heresy. They were accused of a new and strange crime, conspiring with the devil, or as it came to be known as witchcraft. And that is when the devil becomes part of witchcraft. The devil is not a part of witchcraft, nor is it a part of paganism, nor is it a part of Wicca. We do not believe in a devil. But hell is California. We are always on fire, right? Sorry, not sorry, but then butt touches. I lied. The town name Hell is actually a town. There you go. There's some more cosplay as a witch. Witch hysteria really took hold in Europe during the mid-1400s when many accused witches confessed, often under extreme pain and torture, to a variety of wicked behaviors. So can you imagine being a frightened kid or woman or man back then and being tortured to state you were being put through all forms of torture? And I'm not talking about just on the outside of the skin torture. They had torture devices that went inside the body as a female. And they would use such devices to get you to admit that you were a witch. It was very scary. And within a century, witch hunts were common, and most of the accused were executed by burning at the stake or hanging. Now, this was in the UK. Single women, widows, and other women on the margins of society were especially targeted. So if you were a widow, if you were single, or if you were poor, you were considered a witch, and you were tortured before you were burnt at the stake. I just posted a short video of the stream on Pix being played through the Twitch. Oh, very cool. I'm just going to go on a limb and just name everything south of where I live as hell. And the wrongfully accused. I would not want to live back then. No. No, but the witch hysteria that took over Europe was in the 1400s. And these fuckers were horrible. You thought the Salem witch trials were bad. There was nothing. The Salem witch trials were a dream compared to the European witch trials. Salem was known for torture devices and torturing, but not at the level of the Europeans. There are some things that I can't go into here, but I will put them on Discord of some of the torture devices that they used on females in Europe. Fucking insane and very scary that they would be putting children, young girls, and women and old women. I'm not talking about women that were in their 20s. I'm talking about women that were old in their 50s and 60s that were considered witches and what they would do to them. There is an insane torture museum in Spain. Yeah. Witches, yes. Or if you floated in water, you were considered a witch. And if you didn't float, you drowned and died anyway. Yep. And in Salem, they used those techniques. They had a dunking chair. They had a dunking chair that would show if you were a witch or not. It doesn't make any fucking sense. No sense. Yeah. That's one of them. That is one of them, Scroto, the pier of agony. I'm not going to go into details on any of that. If you guys want to know that stuff, you can Google. Between the years of 1500 and 1660, up to 80,000 suspected witches were put to death in Europe. 80,000. They were suspected. Around 80% of them were women, thought to be in cahoots with the devil and filled with lust. Germany had the highest witchcraft execution rate, while Ireland had the lowest. Between 1500s and 1660, 80,000 suspected witches were put to death. 80% of those were women. Kind of disgusting, hey? Very horrible history when it comes to witches. I have a theory on witch trials in Salem. They were huge rye crops at the time. Eating bad rye could give you hallucinations. Yeah. But the Salem witch trials technically didn't happen until 3 young girls lied. And that is where they lied to cover their own asses because the one main girl, Abigail, was doing something wrong that she shouldn't have been doing, and she was caught. She said she was cursed by a witch. The witch was controlling her. All over 3 little girls. Now, you had a guy travel from Europe down into the colonies at that time. And this was the so-called specialist on witch hunting. And which started out in Boston, and it was really crazy. If you go and look at the real story of the Salem witch trials and you read the history, I'm not talking about movies and I'm not talking about TV shows. If you read the actual history, here's a sexy witch for you. The witch movies that I highly recommend: Hocus Pocus, Witches of Eastwick, Lord of Salem, The Craft, The Last Witch Hunter, The Witch, Suspira, 1977, The Witches, Practical Magic, The Crucible, Burn, Witch, Burn, Season of the Witch, 1972, and Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, it would be the character Cotton Mather. Yeah. Oh, you got that right, Kit. I still gotta love those TV shows. I love Charmed. I love those TV shows. A lot of people, The Craft and Practical Magic, definitely. Practical Magic is one of my favorites. This is my list of witch movies that you guys need to watch before you die. Like, seriously, Hocus Pocus, Witches of Eastwick. I love Witches of Eastwick. Fucking amazing movie. Amazing movie. Charmed is a TV show. I just went with movies today. Season of the Witch? Yeah, The Season of the Witch. The Season of the Witch is 1972. Not Nicolas Cage. This is 1972. I'm talking about like the real Season of the Witch. It was a great movie. Yes, Jessica Negri. Yes. Oh, Hocus Pocus is You have to be watching Hocus Pocus. Come on. Now we're getting into our mummies. Mummies don't have too much information on them, unless you want to get into the real mummification, but I did not want to get into mummification. I wanted to stay with the classic horror movie type of mummies. Now, mummy movies really didn't do well. Love it. Yeah, Witches of Eastwick is amazing. Suspiria 1977 is one of your favorite all times. I'm not a huge fan of the remake either, but I do love the 1977 version. Yes, Nicolas Cage would be a reboot. This one was made in the 70s, The Season of the Witch. And it's one of my personal lists that I like to watch. From The Craft was a practicing witch. Yep, there are many practicing witches. You love Mummy with Brendan Fraser? That's on my list as well. I also have a mummies list. A mummy is a deceased human or animal whose skin and organs have been preserved by either intentional or accidental exposure to chemicals, extreme cold, very low humidity, or a lack of air, so that the recovered body does not decay further if kept in a cool and dry conditions. Now, mummification is really huge over in Egypt. And this is our artwork of mummies. Mummy movies were not the greatest. They really tanked at box office. I'm not talking about the newer mummy movies that were made in the 90s. I'm talking about the ones that were made previously. And in Egyptian lore, I love Egyptians. In my religion, I follow the Egyptian deities. So I follow my deities in my craft are Egyptian. Many Wicca people in Wicca do the Greek mythology of their deities. I do Egyptian. I like mummies. They're really cool the way they come about. Anubis, yeah. Heavy has a nice tattoo of Anubis on his back. Now mummies, all mummies over in Egypt were dead pharaohs. They were not people that did not have money. Every mummy was a pharaoh. The pharaohs would have their brains removed through their nose. Now, these are facts. These are actual facts. These things are not part of myth. These are actual facts. When a pharaoh was being mummified, they would pull their brains out through their nose. They weren't cutting open the skulls like we do in autopsies. They were literally had this tool that would go up, mash and scramble, and then pull out the brain. It's actually pretty cool. It's in a few movies if you actually watch really close. All of the organs of the pharaoh were put into special jars. Each jar had a symbol on it, and each symbol was to protect the actual organs and the pharaoh. And each one had an animal head on it because in Egyptians, their deities were not full human. They were half humans. I like the Eugene and Ruddy work of the mummy. I keep thinking of Egyptian culture and Stargate. The pharaohs were aliens. Well, technically, if you think about the history and how everything is going, I wouldn't doubt if they were aliens. Yep, Coptic jars. And the process from mummification, yep. Oh, yes, the whole situation of going into mummification is horrific. Thankfully, you're dead. Thankfully, you are dead. The body, once it was prepped, was also wrapped with linen. The linen was put around the body to preserve the skin. Mummies wore masks, and they were protected by curses. Their high priestess and high priest would protect the bodies with curses going into, and they were buried at the bottom of pyramids. And we have this one again. Let's see. Nope, it did it again. Why? There we go. The mummies were all buried with their their worldly goods. They also put cats down in most of the burials, and animals were also mummified with their owners. So Bastet, or Bast, as some of you know her as, she had over a million animals, a million cats or something like that. The lore states about Bast. in her tomb. But cats are supposed to walk in between worlds. They are supposed to walk between the living and the dead, and they're used to protect from hell. So for the demons coming up, cats were used for protection for anything coming out of hell, right? If not dead, they were removed organs. It would be very painful. Very painful. Yep, they would crack the nose and pull the brain. Actually, they would go with this tool. They would go up, they would scramble the brain. They would disconnect the brain, and then they would use that tool to pull it out. They didn't have any sucking devices. What's up, Wicked Jester? How are you doing? They didn't have any type of sucking devices to suck the brains out. And they didn't have any ability to remove the top of the head without hurting the skull, like hurting the brain itself. They believed that these organs needed to be in a certain condition. You could not destroy it. They followed a really rigorous set of things that they did. I'm doing good. I am doing good, Wicked. How are you doing? Cats are protectors. Yeah. This is one of our cosplay. Many of them were buried, mummified their animals as well, and put them in with them in their tombs. Also, Bast, according to legend, had her cats, which were tons, and in Egyptian times, cats ran rampant. They were welcomed because they did protect the living from the dead in Egyptian culture. I'm moving. We found a place, but we can't get in there until mid-November. Very good. Congratulations. So every in the Mummy was right then with what she said in the for the most part. And now we have mummy tattoos. This is a pretty tattoo. Let's see. The writer of The Mummy, so the movie that we were just talking about, The Mummy, the writer of The Mummy was present for the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb. At that time, in 1932, The Mummy was inspired by a real-life opening of Tutankhamun's tomb, but not in the sense that the screenwriter read about it in a book and went from there. The movie was written by a former journalist who, a decade earlier, covered the event himself. So The Mummy, not talking about the new Mummy in 1990s, I'm talking about The Mummy 1932, was written by a former journalist who actually seen the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb, which I thought was pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. I like this witch painting, a tattoo. We're going to have a mixture of mummies and mummies and witches here, as there's not a whole hell of a lot on mummies. My favorite mummy movies is The Mummy, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, which is 1971, Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, 1955, The Mummy's Hand from 1940, The Curse of the Mummy Tomb in 1964, Monster Squad in 1987, and The Mummy's Tomb 1942, The Mummy in 1955, and Bubba Hotep in 2003. Bubba Hotep is a Bruce Campbell movie. It's fucking amazing. Hey, Havoc. I'm on Twitch quite often, every Sunday. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the tattoo work that you see. And the mummy that I'm talking about, the first one in my movies is The Mummy, the one with what's his name? The one that we all seen in the movie theaters. Okay, I have to argue a bit. Pyramids were not for burial. No, they were not for burial. Some were buried in the pyramids. Not everyone was buried in the periods. In the pyramids. All tombs were separate. Scientists argue that mummification process was done in pyramids before the possibly. Yes, Brandon Fraser. There's lots of conflicting evidence when it comes to the pyramids. A lot of it was made up as well. And many of the stuff that they found was stolen, and other things were put in place. Boris Karloff in yes. So a lot of the older movies that that I have recommended with the Mummy has Karloff in them. But one of my favorites is Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. I don't know if anybody here has seen that. Again, it's up to, and yes, it is. There is no hard proof. There's lots of conflicting evidence. You have so many people saying some this and some that. There is lots of conflicting evidence. And if you follow, we should talk about aliens one day, real aliens, because I do a lot of research onto that because I don't believe we're alone. And according to several different cultures at different time periods, have the same thing about aliens, these gods coming down from the sky. There is so much information on them, and at different times, different parts of the world and different times of the world where English writings were not real. They did not even exist. So we should do a whole thing on that, maybe come 2020. I don't know. We'll see. I love black and white horror movies. I just noticed the skeleton. Yeah, you like my skeleton? That's Jedediah. We will, I think in 2020, we will do one on like ancient aliens, like the aliens, conspiracy type of shit. So, because I know a lot about that. And I don't really need to have like cosplay and shit, but it would be fun to have. But that, like I said, 2020, this is one of my favorite tattoos. Yeah. Netflix, Amazon Prime, have some really good documentaries. And I'm not talking about the cheesy ones that you see. They have some really good documentaries with some real fact finding. I love that type of stuff. That will be it would be a lively discussion. Yes, it would be. I would have to have a longer show. Like this one, it's already noon. I'm already behind. But again, I kind of got a little off track for the first almost 20 minutes of the stream. We worked on the mic. That tat was amazing. Yeah, it's a beautiful tattoo. We don't have Hulu here, sick girl. That's why I don't mention Hulu, because I don't watch Hulu. We don't have it in Canada. It is a true Rob Zombie doing a reboot. No actual movie of Friday the 13th can be made at all. None. There were rumors that movies were to be made, and they were in the process of it, but that all had to halt because of the ongoing appeal that Scott Cunningham and Horror Inc. has done against Victor Miller's winning. Victor Miller won the case, and everything would have been hunky-dory, but Scott Cunningham and Victor Miller appealed that win. And now with that win appealed, nothing with the Friday the 13th franchise will be made until it ends. Nothing. Not even Nika. Nothing. You can do fan made. That doesn't go over copyright. Fan made is completely different. There is a really good fan made film called Friday the 13th Vengeance. It is out on YouTube. I highly recommend watching it. It's very good. It's very well made. I really enjoyed their Jason. I enjoyed Elias Voorhees, which is the father of Jason. I like some of the information that they put in that movie. You will also see Steve Dash and CJ Graham, who also played as Jasons in Jason Lives with CJ Graham, and Part 2 Jason as Steve Dash. But there are no Friday the 13th movies written or produced by any Hollywood director as of right now. It was all right. It wasn't horrible. People would say it was horrible, blah, blah, blah. It was all right. I enjoyed it. I own it. It's part of my collection. The worst one to me in the franchise is Manhattan. No, it's definitely watchable. There's lots of boobies in it. Lots of boobies in it. This is a really nice tattoo. I really like this tattoo. Where is my trivia? We are also going to get into our Coffee Chat of Horrors trivia. These are 5 questions about the entire broadcast that we spoke of. So if you were over on Twitch or on the YouTube side of things, you are able to participate. You saw the TV version of AMC and realized I never saw it? Yeah. Boobies, they're in all horror movies. Stan Helsing that I just watched last night is actually, it's pretty good, and it's got all the makings of an actual horror movie. It's got boobs, it's got ass, it's got a little bit of gore in it. So if you haven't seen Stan Helsing, it is a horror comedy. It's got their version of Pinhead, their version of Freddy Krueger, their version of Chucky, and all the other horror movie people. No, Chad. That's the one where Jason scares those punks when he lifts his mask, ain't it? Yes, where he kicks the as he's walking down the streets of Manhattan, and he kicks the boom box out of the way, and all the little gangsters are there hanging out, all the little punks. That is the same one. Yeah. Oh, my pot roast smells friggin' delicious. Oh, so yummy. Okay, here is yes, boobies. Who doesn't love them? Anyways, here is our trivia. Which vampire is the most well known? Vampire, not movie. I can take a picture of it. What Dracula, though? It's a full name. What Dracula, though? You got it. Okay. Serial killer got it. It has to be Count Dracula, because there are Draculas, but the most well-known is Count Dracula. And serial killer got it. Serial killer, one of my mods, can you give serial killer a Streamloots chest? I'm not sure which one's in here. If not, I will do it. Count Chocula? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Regal's here? Okay. If you can do that, are you able to do it, Regal? If not, I will do it right from my computer. I have it open. What's wrong, Fusa? Fusa's on my lap. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Sneaky's here. I'm not sure where Sneaky is. I don't know how to give them. Well, yeah, I have to change. I have to show you, Blue, because you need them for when you come back into streaming. You need them. I think they would be awesome. I think you would come up with some friggin' awesome cards, and I have more cards to make. I'm hopefully making new ones this week. My daughter is being a little squirt, picking on me. There goes my Fusa. Do you, Regal? Okay, so just let me know which one of you's got it, Regal or Sneaky Tiger. Yeah. No worries. Sneaky Tiger says she's got it. Just be a serial killer. What is a group of vampires called? Serial killer got it again. GG, serial killer. Nope. A group of vampires is called a brood. How many people in the United States insured themselves against turning into werewolves? I said this number several times. Another chest for a serial killer. 2 chests in total. Nope. When I do these coffee chat of horrors, when I'm asking the trivia questions, I actually say them a few times. I make sure I enhance them. Scroto's got it. 907. 907 people actually insured themselves from turning into werewolves. They paid money. They had insurance. They paid for in 1999. That's not that far low. That's not that far long ago. Scroto, you have Streamloots? Let's see. Do you have Streamloots, Scroto? If not, we'll give you whatever you want, limbs or brains, and we can raffle that Streamloots chest off, or you can give it away to somebody if you want. That is up to you. I just want to wait to see what Scroto says. Okay, so we'll just give Scroto some limbs, and we can do a giveaway for a Streamloots chest. Or Scroto can give it away to anybody. I missed most of this coffee chat of horrors, so I don't know much of the trivia. No, but you guys, the mods, you guys have the answers. I did put them this morning because I had to do the trivia last minute. So here is our fourth question. What is the Old English term for witch? I'm looking for the exact spelling of witch. 25,000. The actual spelling. I even spelled it. Nope. Batty Page got it. Batty Page. Now, Batty, do you or Dillinger have Streamloot's chests? If not, we can give you guys limbs. I wasn't sure if Dillinger has an account or not, but if not, we can just give you brains or limbs or whatever you like. Old wrinkly lady, right? Okay. Okay, so Batty has Streamloots? And it's Batty Page, right? Okay, Sneaky Tiger, can you please give Batty Page a Streamloots chest? Let me know if you can find the name. You don't read the Q&A? The reason why I put the Q&A in there is if I don't see who answered the question correctly, my mods could. That's why I do that, because sometimes I will miss something. So I am hoping my mods would be able to get the correct answer for the person that did the trivia. I have found Batty Page in Streamloots before. Yes. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Mummies are dead what? Batty Page got it again. Batty Page gets 2 Streamlets, bitches. Vampires. Pharaohs. Batty Page has got it. I did see 3 from Hal. I seen the unrated version thanks to Resolute Blood, who imported the Blu-ray to me. It came with a Blu-ray, DVD, unrated version, digital version, and a friggin' t-shirt. Boom. That is our trivia for the day. That is our trivia. So Batty, you should have 2 Streamloots chests. Serial Killer, you should have 2 Streamloots chests. Is it the same name? Yeah, it should be Batty Page. Not Battle. Battle is not allowed to play anymore. Batty. Hello. How are you, Glossosaurus? How are you doing? Pay attention and you will win. I love the little trivia. We were going to do regular horror trivia, but that's kind of hard when everyone's not a horror fanatic. So we do the trivia based on the information that I give you. And a little bit of a hint. I repeat certain things. Now, if you ever watch the VOD, you're going to see me say 907. I think I said it like 4 times. The answers that are going to be in the trivia, I say more than once. Like I emphasize it quite often. All of the answers that are in the trivia. Devil's Rejects is on Shudder, American Shudder probably. I'll have to check my Canadian Shudder. Right? Did you bring a raw apple as well? Poisoned apples, yeah. 25 would be great. We're gonna also, I'm gonna give it to Scroto on the Mixer side of things as well. So when we are on Mixer, Scroto has those 25,000 limbs. Everything that you guys receive on Twitch, I do add to your Mixer side when we're on Mixer. I just go right into your user profile and I add them. She gives us clues. Yeah, it does. I do. I give clues. I make sure you guys can see those said clues. I try to, at least. I try to. That is our show for the day. Answers pop up in chat before you finish question, but trivia is all. That's so weird, Klepto. That is weird. I have no other way of doing it either, right? Okay, karaoke, go lay back down. Lay back down. I hope you feel better, sweetness. I really do. I hope you feel better. All of the trivia, oh, well, not trivia, all of what you've seen here today, all the artwork, cosplay, was done by Reaper 1923. All of the wallpapers that you're going to see as well will be in the Discord. It'll be under 1923, Reaper 1923's channel, as well as all of my research will be in the Coffee Chat of Horror section, as well as a VOD. You will be able to watch this VOD here on Twitch. You will also be able to watch this on YouTube, and if you are on Facebook and want to do watch parties, because Facebook has watch parties, you are able to do a watch party of this said stream over on Facebook. I'm glad your headache is gone. I'm glad your headache is gone. Do we have a drive-in or the damned movie today? Not today. I am trying to figure out if Facebook... I watched Serial Killer. I seen House of Tortured Souls do a watch party of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original TCM. I don't know how they do it, so I am going to contact them and I am going to ask them how they were able to do that. I was in there for a little bit as well. If you guys don't know who House of Tortured Souls is, I am a reviewer for House of Tortured Souls. I do the horror game reviews for that website. So House of Tortured Souls is on Instagram and Facebook. They are not on YouTube, and they are not active on YouTube, and they're not active on any other platform besides Facebook and Instagram. I do their reviews. Oh, so you asked, they said to Google it? I'll ask. I'm an admin. I'll ask. Yeah, I'll ask. I'll find out. I'm an admin. I do the horror game reviews for House of Tortured Souls. I will have 2 reviews coming up on their Facebook page as well as their Instagram. They are a good group of people who are about horror. I haven't asked them yet. I haven't had a chance. Nice. Do you have any books by Anne? No, I don't believe so, Diabolical. I have a shit ton of books though. I have a lot of books. I don't remember all of my books. They're behind me in that corner right there. I will be taking a picture of them as well and putting them into Discord. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I would do credits, but we don't have any credits on this side. Sorry I missed the end of the show. I had to make coffee and tried to connect to multiplayer on Farming Sim. No worries, Moonsmurf. No worries. It is all good. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. That was weird. My transition is not working. XSplit's having some gremlins today. Seriously, XSplit's having gremlins. My skull transition was supposed to happen and it didn't. If you're not in my Discord, why not? Come to the Crypt. It's where I hang out all the time.
It's where I eat your souls. We hang out in Discord.
And if you are not following me on the Twatters, on Instagram, or on YouTube, you're missing out. I post a lot of fun things on all 3 of those. In that link for streamer links is all of my social media. You can stalk me on all levels. You can just put out the streamer links. No, thank you, Diva, for hanging out with us. I appreciate that. Now I need to get this set up for when I am fully live over on YouTube as well. Oh, shit balls aplenty. We don't want that. Super weird. That's some super weird horse shit. Ask me later. There we go. Streamer links is where you can stalk me on every level. Join the fucking Discord or else. I have one of that is a must have in my library. My soul is not pure. I take them all. I take them all. Are you and Heavy going to have fun with the voice synthesizer? I don't think he's actually heard anything outside of the stream. See you later, Blue. Join the Discord. Yeah, join the Discord. Have Discord pets, or you guys can check me out at the following streamer links there. Those streamer links have all of my information. All of my... No.
Being gentle is for the weak. I will not be gentle.
Say, I want to play a game. Say, I want to play. Wait, hold up.
I want to play a game with you. Oh, that's so cute.
It is cute. It is. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Right, Diva. Safe word is bananas. That high pitched one. Just wait. I have plans. Yep. I like it too. Care Bear State is mine. We need to make a Streamloots card. We are, Batman. This week I'm planning to make the Care Bear Stare. This week I'm making some Streamloots cards. Uh-oh, Moon Smurf is allergic. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Tora Making, welcome. Thank you for the follow. You look forward to those cards? Using the demon voice with heavy at sexy time. I'd probably scare the shit out of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this show of Coffee Chat of Horrors. It was a lot of research that went into this one. I was going overtime and I still had tons more research on the vampires, witches, and werewolves. I just did not have enough time. 2.5 hours. It seems kind of long, but really isn't enough time for more than one research project. So it is fun. I do apologize for going overtime. I'm sure you guys aren't going to complain about that. I'm going to tell you where the hell is my... next week of Coffee Chat of Horrors, we don't have up just yet. I will let you guys know via Discord and Twitter what next week's show is about. Don't forget to do !morg. Awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it that you guys came over onto Twitch since we were having issues over on the Mixer side of things. And thank you so much for going over on the YouTube. I do appreciate it. I hope to see you guys later this evening in Discord. I will be back on tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. We are on Mixer at that time. Hopefully Mixer is working. So we will be over on Mixer at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. We are going to be checking out some more Dead by Daylight. And then on Tuesday, we are going to be playing, Secret Neighbor? Secret Neighbor on Tuesday. It is on Game Pass. You guys have a great day. That is a Beetlejuice doll. That is my Living Dead doll, Beetlejuice. Yes. I will be doing an up-close video on YouTube, recorded video, and I will be uploading it on YouTube of my collection. I will be getting really close in so you guys can see the faces and the bodies of my collection. They'll be in a couple of parts because I have a big collection, so it'll be in a couple of parts where you will see certain collection of mine up close and personal, and we will have probably a couple videos. It's in the works. It's taking a little bit, but it's in the works. You guys have an amazing Sunday. I love your faces. Thank you for hanging out with me. Mwah. And I will talk to you guys in Discord. My collection is pretty big, and thank you, Regal. Thank you very much for that. I will see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Flashes later. Thank you very much on the YouTube side of things. Later, Diva. Later, Sneaky Tiger. Later, Jacob. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you've liked what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like. If you think there's something else that you should see, please put it in the comments down below. Let me know. All right, guys. I will see you later. Reanimator is out. Bye.